LA.
Hang on, Sheriff. I think I've just spotted it.
Oh, the ball.
Yeah, Gabriel's penalty. Yeah,
Yes.
I think it's just gone across like a meteor across the top, across there, over the top there on the cloud line.
It must be going north then, mate.
Yeah, probably north. Antarctica.
Yeah, it would be.
Or is that south? I don't know. Whatever.
North, isn't it?
Morning, Sheriff. How are you? How's the old PSG this morning? Did it get a bit itchy, that old PSG shirt you had on yesterday?
No, definitely not. Fit like a glove, mate.
Did it?
LA.
Did it?
LA.
Yeah, I noticed you made the most of it over the pub yesterday. Took a few pelters early doors, but you know,
at half time, mate, it was the worst night of my life. I'd already told them I got a cryogenic freezer at home. Freeze me until Tottenham were good again. The year is 2025, 36, whatever it is.
Yeah, 2,326.
Yeah,
300 years time. There you go. So look, Sheriff, tell us about your evening because or your afternoon and evening, I should say, because just give us give the fans in the chat a brief look into your evening, the stick that you took, and then what happened after that.
Highly enjoyable, mate. At the end, it was a pleasant evening. I remember I strolled in the pub. I partook in a couple of Amstels.
Yeah.
And we settled down peacefully to watch the football. This is what I got in my mind, but really it was chaos over there. There was shouting, there was... When they went 1-0 up, mate, I was, oh my God. They were like coming out, like tipping beer on me.
You took some proper shit then, did you?
Yeah, there was people. Well, they didn't pour much, mate. They're too tight. But I was like getting cider poured on my head and all sorts, mate. It was all banned, so it was all funny. But then
go on.
But then when they had that penalty, mate, it was like glorious. They sort of shushed a bit after that.
Glorious, he says. Glorious. Listen,
and then at the end, mate,
go on.
As soon as the penalties were done, I thought the fire alarm had gone off because they all disappeared. I looked round.
He put a picture in the WhatsApp group. I'm not kidding you, everyone, right? 1 minute he's saying, oh, it's gone mad in here, da, 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 da. And he sent a picture 2 minutes later and the pub's empty. It's just the only one in there.
I think there was a fire drill, mate. I never heard it go off. I must have gone for a pee or something. I looked round and everyone had gone.
It's just you sitting at the bar.
Well, no, there was a live band in there. There was a live band in there, started at like 9 o'clock. But I'd gone on by then, mate. I was hanging.
You still look hanging now, mate. But to be fair, you know.
I feel a bit fragile this morning, mate. But I'm sure we'll get through it. We will rise above it and get through it.
I'm sure we will. Let's say a few hellos to everyone.
Weather report, mate. Coldish.
Yeah.
Cold and cloudy.
It's definitely turned up here. Definitely. But apparently they reckon it's possibly coming back next week, the old heat wave.
Oh, is it?
Later on in the week, at the end of next week, you know,
further
on or the week after, whatever it is, the missus said. It's meant to be warming up again anyway. So, but it has gone a bit chilly out there, I've got to say.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not warm here.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's quite bright out there. The sun's not quite out yet. It's trying to poke out, but we had a bit of rain about 10 minutes ago. Before we started, had a bit of rain. But,
there's lots of cloud here, mate. There's lots of cloud and a fresh breeze. It's chilly.
Well, it's definitely chilly.
It's not cold, but like it's chillier than it has been.
Well, just to say, there's a few comments in the chat, and I think this first one breaks the record of earliness.
Is it?
Oh,
well,
yeah.
The first one I got is 8:05.
Yeah, PM last night.
Oh, Christ. Bloody hell. I thought that was this morning. I've only
No.
just seen that.
No, that's PM last night, and there's
But
quite
he
a few comments last night in the chat. I don't mind. This is the reaction quickly of a few Tottenham fans. I take it shortly after the final whistle's gone. So obviously Lee's come in, made a full speed with you. Then he says, "Sure." Then he says, "It's all gone quiet over there." Then he says, "Oops, Eze."
Now, if I remember correctly, mate. No, actually, you set the show up, didn't you? It was nothing to do with me, was it?
Oh, yeah, you just did the thumbnail. I actually did set the show up last night with a little one phone call to you, but apart from that,
two. Let's
two,
get that.
maybe. Yeah.
The second phone call, mate, was during the penalties.
That's right. Yeah,
because I was commentating, wasn't I?
Yeah, you was. Anyway, Lee says, "Oops, says a F-Sank's coming last night at 8:12. He says, la la, PSG saved football from Lego.
I saw 08 somewhere, mate. I just thought it was this morning.
Oh, no, this is definitely not this morning.
Oh, it is definitely last night.
Yeah, Eze and Gabriel missing the pens couldn't have happened to two better people. Boring Arsenal. Agent Eze, he's a Spurs player, really. Eze is our Colo in disguise. And F-Sank says, champions of Europe. You'll never sing that.
There we go.
And then we move on to normality.
Normality, mate, the next one.
2:33 a.m. this morning.
Jesus.
Kate obviously couldn't sleep last night. Having trouble sleeping, Kate, bless you. She says, "Good morning, Mark and Sheriff. Hope you are well. My anthems this morning." That was at 2:33 a.m. this morning, Kate. So, listen, you make sure you have a little nap today, Kate, at some stage. Kate's also saying hello to Stu. There you go. And to Pete as well.
Hang on. Got your arms ready?
Yeah, well, I haven't got to the end of the Kate messages yet.
Oh, right.
That was what it was. I was getting to the end of the Kate messages. There you go. And that is the end of the Kate messages. So now we can do the hang on a minute, Kate. I feel like I have to go to the gym before I do this. You know what I mean?
Well, you have to make sure you've got bad shoulder anyway.
Yeah. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I let Mark squeeze this morning, Kate. My shoulders are killing me, by the way. There you go. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a struggle for you to do that, isn't it? That's your daily exercise, mate, on your shoulder.
Well, yeah, apart from the old Tai Chi, Mark.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, the old Tai Chi for losing weight, bringing back the six-pack that's been gone since I was 27. Long way to go yet, mate. Trust me, long way to go yet.
If you go up Manchester way and you see someone posing like, you know, a karate kid, that'd be the boss.
That's me.
Yeah, out in the garden. Stood there like a like a coiled spring.
Dude, I'll tell you what, right? You wouldn't believe it. It's so simplistic. There's loads of ways you can do Tai Chi, yeah. But they've brought out this stuff now where you can basically for people like me that struggle a little bit with mobility at times, is you can do it all sitting in a chair.
Oh, I'm up for that. So
you literally don't have to move. They set out a load of exercises that you can do sitting in your chair. Even stuff like mini crunches. You know what I mean? Like sit-ups. You know, elbows touching the left, touching the right, all that. It's just all about mobility and getting yourself moving again. Really, that's what it is. But I did yesterday. I did half of the workout that they want you to do, and I was bollocks, mate. I ain't joking. I got halfway through it, and I'm like, and I was reading that one a bit, and it said on there they don't expect many people do it all first time because it is, even though you're sitting there, it's hard going. Do you know what I mean? But listen. It is what it is at the end of the day.
That is what it is, mate.
We all have to try and do our little bit of exercise. Yours is lifting a pint glass up.
I'm walking
Mine
over
is trying
the
to get my elbow to touch me left knee.
Yeah, I'm walking over the pub, mate.
Well,
pub's about a mile away.
And that as well.
And I got to walk home.
Big up to Stu. Morning to Stu this morning. Hope you're well. Yep, hit the like and subscribe, as he says. Absolutely. Lee's back in again. Agent Eze, missing you, he says. Where, oh, he's here. I was going to say, where's that Pete this morning? Because he's a top geezer. I know he's a gooner. But, Pete, you know you're going to take some stick, mate, by the way. Not personally, but it is what it is, mate, at the end of the day. We've been there for most of the season, Pete.
Yeah.
It'll only be one day, mate, and that'll be it probably. But there you go. Lee says, Liam Brady, Tony Adams, Alan Smith, Michelle Arteta. Michelle Arteta, are you watching? Your boys took one hell of a beating. To be honest, Lee, I didn't even watch it, mate. I didn't even watch it. I was out. So and then I was
went for a meal, didn't you? What?
Yeah, and then I sort of got back, and it was halfway through, and I just couldn't be arsed, mate. And I was just looking at the WhatsApp groups, and that told me everything anyway, what I needed to know. So Lee says the pen shootout was the best part of my season. All's well that ends. Lee's digging the old knife in this morning.
To be honest, it goes to show how terrible we were when the highlight of the season is a penalty shootout.
Yeah. Yeah, it says it all, mate, really, doesn't it? It is what it is. You know, it is what it is. And it's up to us to put our finger out of our rectums and start turning it round, Mark, isn't it?
Well, they got to, mate, or else we'll be back in the same position next year.
Yeah, we certainly
possibly
will be.
Worse.
And here he is. Pete's in. Big up to you,
Big up, Pete.
Says, morning to Cookie and Sheriff, and a massive big up to the chat. Big up to you, Pete. Listen, it don't matter who you support. I know, like, we all hate Arsenal or detest Arsenal, whatever words you want to use, right? And there's a lot of Arsenal fans out there. I saw stuff on the news last night, right? And it was getting quite. Even though Arsenal had just lost the Champions League final, they was interviewing people on the telly, and the hate for Tottenham, mate. Right? Forget that they've just lost the game, right? He's trying to ask them about the game and, like, how do you feel? And all you can hear is we hate Tottenham and this and that and the other, and it's like, wow. You know, so perhaps we live rent-free in some Arsenal fans' heads. I don't know. I don't know why we would, but the last thing I'll be doing is after losing a Champions League Cup final, is singing "We Hate Arsenal" down a lens of a camera. Do you know what I mean? But that's just me anyway. Perhaps I don't know, whatever.
No, but let's face it, it was glorious to see.
Big up, Pete. Wembers is in. Morning to you, Wembers. Hope you're well this morning, mate. Says, morning, boys, and all the chat. I'm so relieved PSG won. Yes. Was out in central London during the day yesterday. You're brave, Wembers. And the place was crawling with Arsenal shirts. We've heard that around the country, Wembers, by the way, from different people. The thought of the parade today with 2 cups. Only one. Yeah. It's only one, Wembers. It's only one.
Yeah, but to be honest, I know the parade is today.
Mm-hmm.
So they must have basically come home last night, I would have thought.
Yeah, it's 2 o'clock or something, I think. About 2 o'clock this afternoon. Yeah.
So do you think this sort of waters down the parade? They're still going to celebrate. Obviously, they won the league.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
it sort of piddles on it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if they'd have won it, it'd have been the icing on the cake. I mean, it would have been unbearable. It would have been unbearable for Tottenham fans, to be fair, I think.
This is what I said. This is what I said over the pub. Because they were all having a go at me about having a PSG shirt on. And I said, look, and they were like, you should always want the English team to win. I was like, anybody else? Yes. You and Chelsea, definitely not. Definitely not.
I get it, Sheriff.
Definitely not.
See, I'm just not like mega vocal on it. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, look, I'll take it off of there. Obviously, I don't want Arsenal to win the Champions League. Yeah, but I'm just not one of those people that just comes out and gives it the old rub salt in the wounds. Don't get me wrong, I get it for the banter and all that, but the way I look at it is I'm a bit older, right? And
well, am I meant to be?
Well, I'm just a bit older. I've seen Spurs do things over the years. I've seen Arsenal do stuff over the years, and I know it's a bit of bants, but if they'd have won that last night, right,
it would have been
you're not talking about it would have been for a few days, right? It would have been going on for months and possibly years.
It would have been insufferable. We'll put it this way, mate. All this year, I've had nothing but grief. In this year, in that year, you're going down. Come on, West Ham. We're top of the league. And it's not just Arsenal fans, it's every person that goes in that pub that supports a football team. Spurs are going down.
Spurs are shit. Spurs are this.
Spurs are shit. Enjoy going to Bristol next year.
Yeah.
Enjoy going to Swindon or wherever, Lincoln and places like this. But then, when it's my turn, when it was my turn last night to have a bit of bants, they're not interested.
Yeah, I get it, mate. I get it.
No, but they had no choice, mate, because I was jabbering in the rear of.
No, yeah,
it would have been
insufferable. I just try not to rub salt in the wounds so much because, not just because it's not Arsenal, any club, but we've had our fair share. Do you know what I mean? And I think to myself, God, it's hard, man. As a Spurs supporter, at the moment it's hard.
Oh, it is terrible. I mean?
And I remember what it was like when we lost the Champions League final to Liverpool.
Yeah.
right? And I'm no Arsenal supporter. Let me tell you, look, if you can't tell by now, I'm no Arsenal supporter, but it's tough, man, when you lose a final, when you lose a big final. I've got no sympathy for them as a Tottenham supporter, but to the fact of people like Pete who I see as like, you know, proper decent people. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, he's a gooner, he's an Arsenal supporter, he knows he's always welcome in here at the end of the day, because it, you know, between us lot, it's just that is a bit of banter. Do you know what I mean? But listen, they've lost. I'm glad they didn't win it. As a Tottenham fan, it would have been insufferable. You know,
it would have been insufferable, mate.
Yeah,
it would have been. It would have been insufferable.
Yeah.
I'd have not heard the end of it. Not heard the end of it. I'd have. Well, I ain't got notifications switched on anyway, but every time I looked at Facebook, three or four things I'd have been tagged in. It's unbearable.
Yeah.
It's unbearable. But
anyway,
what comes around goes around, mate.
As they say.
You know?
Mario's in. Let's bang through a few of these. Mario's in. Good morning, boys. Congratulations to PSG, says. Pete says he'll be back in a minute. Going to get some coffee. Happy days. Drula, champions of England. You can sing that, but remember, champions of Europe. You'll never sing that, Drula says. And then she comes up with bonjour cookies, the sheriff, and the lovely French baguette in the chat. Hoi, hoi, ho. Morning, Jane.
Morning. Yeah, bonjour.
Bonjour, Jane. Bonjour, as they say. Morning. Morning to Paigey. Hope you're well, Paigey, this morning. Big up to you.
Big up, Paige.
Big up, Jimmy. Big up, guys, in the chat from a cloudy and fair northwest. Fair. I know what he means. They used to put that in the old barometers, didn't they, years ago, Mark? Didn't they? Do you remember?
That's Midland.
Yeah. Yeah. The Mark Taylor's in, part of the Mark Army. Mr. Taylor. Hope you're well, Mark. Big up to you, mate. Yeah. Rob Plan's in. Morning, guys. What a lovely morning.
It is.
Sun is in. Bonjour, he says. Bonjour, Sonny.
Bonjour.
Aiden's in.
All that stuff.
Last night was incredible for it to be Gabriel and Eze to miss as well.
I never slept. I was worried about it.
Yeah. Morning, Daz. Morning to you, mate. Hope you're well this morning. Champions of England, Arsenal for life, says. You'll never sing that. Well, we hope to one day.
Well,
one
I've
day,
never seen it.
life, but
Please, one day. Please, one day.
One day, we're hoping.
Yeah.
Dan's in morning to Dan this morning. Hope you're
not
well,
while
fella.
the current owners are here, though. Well, we won't be singing that.
No, definitely not.
No.
You know, if Enoch, if we're in the same position in another 26 years' time, in 52 years' time, you know, we're in puppy doo-doos at the end of the day. We'll probably be in Conference League South or something by then with this lot in charge.
But they'll be playing my local team, mate.
Well, probably, yeah.
Well, no, they're in the National League, I think.
I'm going to try and get a few of these, and then I'll stick the link in. Bonjour, bonjour. Football was well and truly saved last night. But I'm hearing a lot of this today. Well, Mark, was it very negative from Arsenal? I mean, Pete will come in and say what he thinks of the game.
To be honest, it's from what I remember, I've actually got to remember I was a bit drunk, that Arteta set up how he normally does in finals. He never set up to win, mate. He set up not to lose. You know?
Okay.
I think he only had about 20-30% of the ball.
24% apparently.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah.
Yeah. It was
different stats for different things, but that's the one I saw this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give Arsenal a little bit of credit. They've got a fantastic defence. You know, and it did not look like, as much of the ball as PSG had, it did not look like they were going to break them down.
Yeah.
But they got the penalty, scored that, and won on penalties. But to be honest, for the game, well, obviously I was pleased that PSG won. But for the game, you know, because PSG went out to win it. Because that's what they do.
Yeah.
You know, Arsenal went out not to lose it.
Yeah. Fair play. Well, we'll see if any of the boys come in. Vinders, Angus, Pete will obviously still be in here and give his thoughts on the game last night. I don't think he watched it, to be fair. I think he had it on his radio, unless he watched the game and didn't watch the penalties at the end. I might be confused there, but yeah, I was seeing that PSG had a lot of the ball. 24% possession to Arsenal. But there's people that I've been reading that said it was a 50-50 game, Mark. Is that how it came across? Like I say, I didn't watch it. So, you know, I've seen more than one person put that, quite a few people. But
I've only got like blurred memories.
Either way.
To be honest, PSG had the vast majority of the ball, yes. Did they actually create much? No.
Right.
You know, but when the 24% that Arsenal did have, they sort of got their end, but apart from the goal, they didn't. That was a good goal, man. I'll give him that. He smashed that straight in the roof of the net, the Arsenal goal.
Havertz.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good finish. It was a great finish, to be honest. But, like, it was, if you look at chances, I'd say it was quite an even game. If you're just going to go on chances, because PSG didn't really create nothing. They were sort of having pot shots from long range, but they never created much that you could say, well, he should have scored that, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you.
You know, it's just the way the team's set up. Well, Arteta never goes out to win games, does he? He goes
negative like us, Mark, is he?
He goes out there not to lose them first. Yeah. But no, but that's his way, isn't it? The old 1-0, the 1-0 to that lot chant.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of again, I don't follow Arsenal. Obviously, we hear about Arteta, and he's been there a long time now, spent a lot of money, so on and so forth, like many other clubs have done, by the way, right? But there's also been, I've heard, before the Champions League final as well, by the way, that Arsenal with a seasoned manager, for argument's sake, I'll just throw in names out there, and Ancelotti, a top manager, that's been there, seen it, done it, they would have won a lot more probably than they have done up to date in previous years and in finals like that last night.
If Arsenal had Pep, if Pep Guardiola was the Arsenal manager, they'd won the league 3 or 4 years ago. When they were second all the time, which was glorious, by the way. But when they were throwing it away, as they have the last few years, like Pep would have got them over the line. I'm convinced of that. It was just naivety.
Yeah.
All right. He is a good manager. You can't take it away from Arteta. But like, he's all right. He got it done this year in the league. But to be honest, how competitive was the league? You know, Arsenal won the league this year. Fair play to them. With one of the lowest totals, 80-something points, wasn't it? Was it 80 odd points they finished on?
No,
80-something, wasn't it?
Yeah, 85.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, teams have won the league with 100 points. Well, Liverpool lost. Liverpool come second, and they had 100 points.
Spurs come second or third with more points than what Arsenal won the league with this year. Just get that in there. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Not that we won anything, but I'm just saying. You know.
No. And it was the year we finished second. I think we had more points than that.
Yeah, 86.
This is, you know, I mean, I'm not taking away from them. They did win it. Fair play to them. But the league wasn't that competitive. Not really. I mean, Man City fell off a hell of a way, didn't they?
Man City still took it to the last couple of weeks, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, Man City were just chucking points away like willy-nilly, weren't they?
Yeah.
You know, if Man City had been in their prime, Arsenal would have won.
Listen, I will say, and I don't mind saying as well, we've said it about the Villa game the other week. You can only beat what's put in front of you, so on and so forth. Listen, that they won the league at the end of the day. So
yeah,
they were the best team over 38 games. They was the best team. They won the league. Unfortunately, for them, they didn't get it over the line last night. Fortunately for Tottenham fans and anyone else that didn't want Arsenal to win, by the way. Big up to Ghosted. Hope you're well this morning, mate. The legend that is Nige is in. Big up to you, mate. Hope you're well. Thank you very much for sending everyone over, Nige.
Big up, Nige.
Big up to you. Sorry if I miss anyone out because we're behind already. Big up to Carl. Hope you're well this morning. Sully's in. Sheriff Slade the Goonies. Mia's in. Morning to you, YouTube member Mia. Bonjour. She says bonjour to you.
Bonjour.
Joe's in. Bonjour, Cookie and Sheriff. Big up to you. Dingo Yid's in. What a lovely PSG morning. Dingo Yid says. Big up to you, Dingo. Hope you're well. Tom Kingham's in. All the capitals are in this morning.
Yes.
Big up, Tom. Morning to you, mate. Hope you're well. And he also says,
shame about the Arsenal.
There you go. I'll let Sheriff sing it. Big up to you, Sheriff. Good morning to Mr. Zappa. Hope you're well this morning, Mike. Nice to see you in. Marcus is in. Big up to you, Marcus. He says, football won last night. Only one team came to play. That'll be interesting when we get a few people on to see what their thoughts, because like I say, I never watched it. So it'll be Mark sort of give his drunken take on it, if you like.
Blurry
I'm sure there'll be a few people come on shortly that will give their what they thought about the game last night. Big up to Machina Joe. Hope you're well, mate. He says Lego head running round on the sidelines, stressing, was beautiful to watch. Claiming a penalty for everything and anything. He thought he was in England. There you go. Was there no VAR last night, Mark?
Oh, that was VAR.
Oh, it was VAR.
Yeah. Right. The PSG penalty went to a check.
All right, got you. Okay, fair play. Jesus, that was my washing machine. Sounded like it was coming through the door then. I think I've put too much in it. Mia says, let it all work out. Absolutely, Mia. Jason's in. Bonjour to you, Jason.
Yeah, bonjour.
Bonjour to you. Sonny says, easy, or something like that. Big up, Sonny. Morning to you, mate.
Yes, here we go. No, I want to click on that one.
Oh, you want to click on that
Gabrielle.
one?
Dreams can come true.
Can come true.
Yeah.
There you go. See?
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Stuart. I've gone flying over there. Good morning, Marcus Sheriff. Football won last night, Marcus says. Big up to you, Marcus.
That's what I was trying to explain.
Dexter's in. He says, shame about the Asna.
Shame about the
Dan says he's hanging a bit, but it was worth it.
Yeah. So am I,
two of you.
So am I.
That makes at least two of you.
Yeah.
Probably upset, Joe. What can you say? What can you say, Joe? It is what it is, man. It is what it is. We all love our football teams in different ways, Joe. You know that. I'm not going to cuss whether they're Arsenal YouTubers or not. I'll leave that to everyone else, mate. And if people want to come on here and cuss them, that's up to them. They know this is the channel for the people, as they say, Joe. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Everyone's got their own way of dealing with stuff. Look at me on the nostalgic show the other night. I'm listening to people talking about stuff like that, and it just brings stuff back, mate. And I had tears rolling down my face. I know it's a different type of thing, but do you know what I mean? No, so it is what it is. Best thing for your health is to go for a walk in the morning, breathe and move. See, Mike was listening to the old Tai Chi, what I was talking about there. I still ain't got the hang of half of it, Mark, to be honest with you. But
have you not? I don't even attempt it, mate.
Keep practicing, mate, don't you? And as you practice, you just get better, don't you? So it is what it is. Everman's in. Big up to you, Everman. Hope you're well this morning. Big up to you. Flicks is in. Hope you're well this morning, Flicks. Melton, big up to you, Melton. Hope you're well this morning.
Yeah, big up.
Says, morning, gents. Deep joy. Woolwich Feld in Europe yet again. Big up to you, Melton. Mandy's in. Big up, Maz. This is Mandy next door. This is Mandy.
I was going to say, like, Mark, if you see me outside, I was like, hey?
Yeah.
That was you.
Mandy, I will not say a word. Mandy, I will say nothing.
Was you an Arsenal fan?
I'm that type of guy. There's Mandy, who's the Arsenal fan. Then there's me, who's the Tottenham fan, and everyone else is United and the odd City fan that's floating about. But all the family in here are United. So you know what it's like this year. I had pelters all year from this lot. They finished third for spending 200 million quid, basically, after finishing 16th last season.
Yeah.
There you go. It is what it is. Shem's in. Morning to Shem.
You got Shem.
Hope you're well this morning. He says, morning, gentlemen. Hope you're both well today. I'll tether them by saying they were going to be champions of Europe. Like Haaland said, be humble. Oh, and play football. That wasn't football out there, he says. There you go. Who else is in? Is anyone else? Anthony's in. Big up to you.
Big up.
He says his questions have to do with development, cold weather, slow ball. It wins. Just say, that's how you want to play. I am fine.
There you go.
Big up, Anthony. Big up to you. Shem says he's out walking a dog with no Arsenal shirts in sight.
It's amazing how many, even in my neck of the woods, I've seen it. They're everywhere.
Yeah. Kev's in. Morning to Kev. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you're well. And then he says, not against any style of play at all. Just play your way.
Well, yeah.
Fair play. Yeah. It's obviously his way.
If your way is anti-football, then that's up to you.
Dan says Arsenal would have give that league up for the Champions League. They will never be elite till they win it, and they know it. Interesting from Dan there.
Yeah.
Tom 81's in. Big up, Tom. Hope you're well, mate. Bonjour, he says. Tom. What a difference a week makes. Big up to you, Tom.
It's been well, last night made up for the previous week that I had to suffer watching them lift it and all that nonsense.
Tom also says their stats were like ours in the Europa League. Oh, except we won and they didn't. He's just saying, people. He's just saying. Stu says 1 shot on target. That's not advertisement UEFA wanted in a final. There you go. Ooh, big up to Dan. Dan's become a member. Big up, Dan. Cheers for that, mate. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Really appreciate
big
that,
up,
mate.
Dan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, mate.
Is there any more in here? Let's have a look just quickly. Yeah, there is another one. This one here. Look.
Oh, hang on.
This one here from Dan again. Big up, Dan. Super chat. He says, "Fuck it. Here's a beer on me. I'm in a good mood. Arsenal, pathetic." He says, "LOL."
Thank you, Dan.
Big up to you, Dan.
Big up,
Appreciate
Dan.
that, mate. You don't have to do that, but
And
thank you very
YouTube
much.
member
Dan.
now as well.
Cheers, man.
No, you don't have to do that, but thank you.
Stu says PSG had 19 shots, 5 on target. Arsenal had 5 shots, 1 on target. There you go. Samaritans in, big up to you. Hope you're well this morning. Big up to everyone who's in on this Sunday morning. Michael's in, big up to you, Michael. Hope you're well today. Phil's in, big up, Phil.
Big up the press.
PSG gave France the perfect preparation for this summer's tournament. Let's hope Saliba isn't too affected by losing last night.
Well, Phil follows France, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
I gathered that, yes.
Yeah, he certainly does. Mike says it's easy, like a Sunday morning. Big up, Nicky. Big up, lads. Champions of Europe. You'll never sing that, he says. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Bella's in. Eze the choker.
Big up, Bella.
I'm still waiting for that ball to come down, you know. Perhaps that's what that noise was that I heard just now. The ball landed in my kitchen. It might have been come through the window. Sorry. Shouldn't. Hang on.
He's had a cup of tea come in.
There
we go. Look, he's reaching out for it.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. Look, I knew it. I knew the.
I've got to say,
the tea had arrived.
I was up at stupid o'clock again this morning, right?
I wasn't.
And I made a cup of tea. And you know, like when you want something, but you don't know what you really want, because I'm not really eating much at the moment again, and everything, the smell of everything just turns me right off food at the moment. But I made a cup of tea this morning. You know me, Mark. I like strong tea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Strong, like really strong tea. And for whatever reason, I made it, and I didn't make it strong enough, and it was a bit milky.
Oh, you chucked too much milk in,
mate. And you know when you lift the cup up and you get the smell, didn't you?
Yeah.
And I got the smell of that milk, mate. Oh, my God, Mark. Honestly, I ended up drinking about that much out the top of it. And this is the second drink of the morning. I bet I don't drink all this. I guarantee I don't drink it. But there you go. We're off the subject.
Yeah.
Bella says Eze deserved to miss.
Well, that silly run up he done.
Well, yeah. What was that all about? I didn't see it. So
it was like was a silly run up? I thought they'd stop that, all that stuttering and delaying. And
he was on the stutter. Was he?
Yeah, it was like one of them. You know, where you sort of pause, and then I thought they were doing away with all that, because you remember, like they sort of step, pause, and then they're waiting for the keeper to move, aren't they, and then put it the other side.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I thought they'd done away with all that. I thought you had to kick a penalty now with just, without none of that nonsense going on now. But obviously, you're still allowed to do it.
Yeah, they've been doing it this year, though, haven't they? I've seen it in the Premier League as well this year.
How the hell would I know?
Well, we ain't seen any penalties at Tottenham.
We had 0 penalties, mate.
Doing the old stutter bit. I've seen them doing it, but yeah, it is what it is at the end of the day.
We had 0 penalties this season. I can't remember the last penalty we got.
Big up, Darren. He says it's still warm down south. You're saying it's nippy, Cookie, but I'm always hot. Ha ha ha. Shorts all year round for Super Daz.
No.
I've got my jumper on, mate. Don't get me wrong, I ain't got no heating on or nothing like that, but I just think it's nippy. It's just me.
It amazes me. You see the postie come round in like February.
Yeah.
And it's like 1, 2 outside or so.
When I was at work delivering, I used to wear shorts all the time.
Oh, no. No.
Unless it was like, we had blokes at work that you'd turn up in 3 foot of snow to work and they'd still be wearing shorts.
No.
That's not for me, to be fair. But if it was cold, I'd still go and wear shorts. I was running around all day anyway.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But
I feel the cold real bad, mate.
I do now. Now I'm on these blood thinning tablets, mate. God, I really do now feel the cold. But yeah, it is what it is. Big up to Marianne. Kevin Cook's in. Hope you're well. I had more shots than Arsenal last night, and I expect they feel worse than me today. Up the Spurs. Big up to you, Kev. One Spurs King. Are Arsenal still having the Bottlers Parade today? 2 p.m. apparently.
Yeah.
2 p.m. apparently. One Spurs King for the holding up of the trophy. Phil says enough respect to Thierry Henry. What a guy. What a guy. Rob Belcher's in. Big up to you, Rob. Hope you're well this morning. And I'm down the bottom. So there you go. I think I am anyway. Yeah, I am down the bottom. There we go. I like my style.
There's a few under it.
Oh, they haven't shown up on my thing yet.
Oh, have they not?
No.
Oh, right.
No, it's lagging a bit for some reason. I don't know why. But
here you go. I'll go for them. You can always get to you.
Well, there you go. I'm getting them through now.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the prayers. Yeah, they've just come through. Yeah, just don't seem to come now and again. Instead of them coming up every message that comes, sometimes it'll be 4 or 5 messages that just all come through at the same time.
Suddenly appear. Did you stick the link in?
Yeah, link's in.
Is it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, here we go.
Hang on. I'm doing something wrong here. Here we go. Let's try that one. There we go. Morning, Mia. How are you this morning?
Bonjour. Bonjour, bonjour. I'm very good.
Ça va.
And
ça va bien.
I don't know why, but that was it for me.
That was it for me. I saw very briefly last night as I was falling off to sleep, Mia, I've got to say, that you and Dan were talking to the devil. He shall appear.
Here he is.
Yeah, I saw you and Dan having a bit of a giggle at Arsenal, as obviously you do, as you do. Listen, Dan's in, Mia's in. Tell us about your evening, guys, and how you are. I don't know what's the word. Are you reveling in it, Dan and Mia? Are you reveling in it this morning? Arsenal? 1,000,000,000%. And have you seen Gabriel's ball yet that he spanked out of the ground? Has it landed, by the way?
No, I don't think it has landed yet. Do you know what? There was this video. I've been watching videos all morning, just absolutely cracking up. There was a guy standing with a pole with a flag of I think it's like an Arsenal flag or something on it. And some guy pulled up to him and went, "Are you all right, mate? Are you waiting for a set piece?" Yeah, it was hilarious. I was cracking up laughing. That was one of the funniest ones. And the guy was absolutely fuming. I was like, yes. And everybody celebrating in the pub. You saw Arsenal fans in despair and everyone else jumping up and celebrating. I absolutely live for it. Absolutely. Scrolling through video after video. I love it.
Pete says he's got his snacks ready. He's got his snack. He's in the chat. He's got his snacks ready.
Listen, Pete, this will be more interesting than the game that Arsenal played last night. Let me tell you, that'd be much more entertaining. Absolute nonsense what they play. They parked the bus, the coach, the spaceship, everything to try and not lose that game. They did not try to win that game. One shot all game. What an absolute joke.
And no saves for a keeper to make. I mean, look, let's have a look at this. I mean, me and you spoke last night, Mia, and morning to you, Mark.
Morning, mate.
Big up, Dan.
I am hanging out my arse because after that show with me, I thought, do you know what? I need another drink. And then it just went on from there, basically. Beth was already out cold, so I basically had a session on my own. Whilst watching a lot of AFTV and all that sort of stuff, made a phone call and said, "Yeah, let's carry it on," and just sat there giggling to myself with a drink. Some might say that sounds sad, but it was a justifiable moment for me. Look, when we lost that Champions League, they absolutely tore us a new one.
Yeah, it's true.
They deserve everything they got. One thing I won't take away from them, they're defending last night, second to none, best in Europe. No two ways about it, whether you like them or not. But you do not go into a Champions League final when you are playing a team like PSG, who was only, over the game, I'd say they was barely 50% of what they've been over the past 2 years. They was not on it yesterday. Dembele was, in my opinion, Dembele played yesterday worse than Moane has for us all season.
Oh,
he must have been terrible.
He was shit. He could not cross. He could not pass. All right, he scored the penalty. Their corners were horrendous. Look, everything was in Arsenal's hands, basically, after they got their first goal. No, they came back and shut up shop. By the second half, they'd let PSG back into the game. And then PSG took control of it, basically. I mean, there's only been one game with worse Champions League stats by a team than Arsenal in that one in 2026. And that was 2006 when they got absolutely done by Barcelona. They had 29% possession. There, 24% possession. What was it? 4 shots, 1 on target. Their goalkeeper had no saves in the entire game to make, apart from the one that went past them. They're passing 196, if I'm correct, in a 120-minute game. PSG over 800.
God, that says a lot, doesn't it?
That is shambolic. That is
a stat. That Jesus, that is a stat.
You know,
isn't it?
It shows how they just wanted to go. You can't shut up shop for 85 minutes. The only one who has ever really got away with doing that in a game, and that is because he is probably the best manager there's ever been, in my opinion, is Jose Mourinho. When he went and pulled that off with Inter Milan, when he won and done the treble with him.
Yeah.
Up against Barcelona when he went like literally 90 minutes, shut up shop. But even then, they at least counter-attacked and played football. I mean, why did they take Saka off? Trossard, he was actually having a good game, and they go and put that other heap of crap Martinelli and the other. They got quite a few things wrong last night.
KSI. That's what I call Madueke, the fake KSI, innit, with his headband.
Yeah. I mean, why they took them off, I don't know. Either way, it just all fell to plan. And those penalties, it couldn't have happened to 2 nicer see you next Tuesdays than you'd have asked for. The way Ezzy took that, he deserved every bit of stick he's going to get for that. All of a sudden, my man thought he was Messi, and he made himself look like, I'll say it politely when I say a donkey. And then Gabriel, great defender, like him or not, brilliant footballer, horrible, nasty little prick. Couldn't have happened to a nicer person the way he put it over the bar. So, yeah,
and
they deserve every bit of shit they get.
And Joe was even more poetic that they've not had a penalty against them, and they've got one against them in this game, and then they're still bitching and moaning about the referee because they feel they got hard done by.
Inter could have had 2 penalties for handballs as well.
Yeah. I know.
That were safe calls.
No, but
was there any other contentious issues in the game? You know, like you just said about handballs and stuff.
Arsenal
like
playing for a penalty.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, Dan and Mia.
That penalty at the end, for me, if just on a football side, 50-50. If that would have been Premier League, if that would have been Premier League, I think that would have been a penalty. But that's just because our refs are crap anyway and soft. In Europe, they're a bit more assertive over it. The ref looked at it and went, no. And then VAR stayed out of it because he blatantly looked up. It's not happening. It's not happening. Even if you'd have got the ref to go and had a look, he weren't going back on himself. He saw the whole thing. That was 2 people who took each other down. One day, you could have understood that being a penalty. Another day, you can understand it not being a penalty. It just didn't go their favour. But Inter had 2 basically claims for a penalty where it was 2 clear handballs. So the game evened itself out. PSG, sorry. Yeah. PSG should have had 2 penalties, I reckon, apart from the one they got. It all fell into place, basically. And if you want to shut up shop and sit, I mean, there was one point for about 10 minutes in that match where you had 11 Arsenal players didn't even leave their half.
Yeah, it was. It's like I said, when Arteta gets in big games, he goes out not to lose. He doesn't go out to win. He goes out not to lose and maybe nick a sneaky goal. That they did. They went 1-0 up, but it was shocking. It was anti-football.
We tried harder than that.
Yeah.
We had better stats than that. We had better stats than that. Yep. In that Champions League final, we had better stats than that.
Mm-hmm.
What over what you've seen, and you know, I've watched a little bit of Arsenal this season, and in the big games, he does seem to, rather than going for it, does seem to have that mindset of, look, we're not losing this. Whether we win it or not's a different matter, but we're not losing this. What is it with certain managers that they, I don't know, adapt this way of playing when in the Premier League this year, for argument's sake, Arsenal, we know, take a lot of possession of the ball, so on and so forth. Yeah, but in that final last night, PSG are the ones that have got the momentum in the game as far as possession's concerned. Are PSG that good, Dan?
Shut it up, because I'm shut up.
The topsy-turviness of that, if you know what I mean. Like in the Premier League, Arsenal would be 60-70% possession in most games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're playing, the top boys at the top, right? And then it evens itself out a bit. But to go to that game last night and basically 76% possession to PSG, 24% to Arsenal. That's a big difference, Dan, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Going the other way. Do you know what I mean?
PSG are great, but they was not good last night. PSG was not good. PSG, if I'm going to be totally honest and just look on this from a football side, yeah, no hats on whatever else, PSG were bang average last night at best. When I say that Dembele was worse than Mawane, I am not joking. Someone on here tell me I'm exaggerating. I am not. Every corner they took was worse than the sort of corners that Spurs took. They could not cross the ball come love nor money. It was going over most of the time. It was going over to the other corner when they crossed it. Some of their players, I don't know what they got on the night before, but it didn't do them no favours. Even their midfield was not good. Their star players were not on it. I mean, Kay came on the game. That's how I say his name, Cavascalia, or whatever, because it's too hard to pronounce, yeah? And I think he's the best player in the world at the minute, personally. I think he's a great player. I loved him at Napoli. It took him till round about 55 minutes before even he upped his gears a bit. And then he had to come off as well because he was knackered. You could see that. But PSG, they didn't, honestly, really, they did not turn up. Arsenal got that goal. If Arsenal would have gone for that game, they could have ended up 2-3-0 up at half-time. Because PSG was all over the place. They was a mess. Arsenal was the better team in that first half because everything got played into the way Arsenal wanted it played, basically. Like I've said, it's not all about possession. Possession, nothing if you don't score. It played into Arsenal's game, what they wanted. But they didn't go for the kill. If they would have gone for that kill in that first half, they'd have got that game. Easy. PSG was not on it last night at all. 50% of what they usually are, I'd say.
And was that due to Arsenal, Dan? No. Was that due to Arsenal?
No. Arsenal made it hard for them because the thing that PSG, the way I portrayed the game was just forget the first half. PSG just weren't even there. They weren't even involved, basically. Arsenal got their goal and then they shut up shop. Now, we all know breaking down any team that shuts up shop is not easy. But we also know when you got players like PSG players coming at you, as all it takes is that one split second and they will have you because they are just that bloody good. I was getting to the point where I was thinking PSG, they just ain't going to do this because they was just not on form. There was no creativity there. There was no PSG were bang average, best. And then you could see Arsenal was starting to panic a bit when the pressure did start coming on them. But PSG still looked like they was lost for ideas. They looked like they didn't know what to do. They were trying long shots, getting the balls in. The shots weren't on target when they were, 21 shots and about 7 on target. They just really did not look like they knew what to do. And it looked like Arsenal had pretty much got it right by shutting up shop. And then it went up another gear from there. PSG basically controlled the game. And yeah, then Arsenal gave away the penalty and it was all PSG. But again, even when it was all PSG, they were still 50% of the club of what they are usually. They was not on form last night and Arsenal bottled it. They should have gone for that kill after that first goal. They should have said, right, do them, go for them. Because PSG was shocked. They was absolutely like, wow, what happened there? And Arsenal didn't have the bottle to go for the kill. And that's what done them.
Yeah.
To be honest, that's it. Well, from what I remember of the game, like PSG was all over them. PSG had all the ball, all the attacking intent, and
but did nothing. They couldn't think of anything to do with it, could they? When it came to the final bit, they didn't know where to pass it. They didn't know where to cross it, where to shoot it. Corners were terrible.
Yeah. I was going to say, PSG were off it that much. They weren't. Put it this way, if you'd watched the semi-final when they played Bayern Munich, my God, they were frightening.
Yeah.
They were frightening.
When they destroyed my team last season in the final, I've never seen Inter get beaten like that before.
No,
like that.
It was almost a cricket score. Like, what was the score last? 5-0 or so?
Something like that. 5-1, 4-0, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, something along those lines. But honestly, this is where possession means nothing. Yeah, possession really don't mean much because you can have all the possession on the planet, but if you don't do something with it, and PSG really didn't do nothing with it. If we want to be technical, they didn't even break Arsenal down to get a goal apart from the penalty. But at least they looked like they was trying to win the game. They was trying to play football, even though they was poor at it. Arsenal were just like, right, shut up, shop, and then get another shop in front of that shop and a bus. And it backfired on them, basically. Again, they should have gone for the kill. Anyone with half a football brain would have said, right, next 15 minutes, go for them. Put everything on it. Because you could see after the first goal, PSG just wasn't on it. And Arsenal bottled it. They blatantly bottled it. They shut up shop and let PSG into the game. Yeah. They deserve what they got.
There you go.
Nothing.
We are Spurs TV saying PSG were just trying to spam high crosses in the box and we're just trying to get the ball to Dembele. That was it. It makes you wonder why they're trying to get the ball to him if he was so bad last night, Dan. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. K-Club didn't come into the game until about 55, 60 minutes. He was knackered. You could see that. Chances are he shouldn't have even started. You could see he was absolutely knackered.
Yeah. What will be. Anyway, look. Yeah, subscribe to Dan. Big up, Stu.
Yeah.
Get over to Dan at the Hotspur. Make sure you subscribe to him. And if you haven't, subscribe to us and hit the like button for the stream. I don't know where we are. Listen, I can't believe we're an hour in. We haven't got to 50 yet. What's going on? 25 minutes yesterday. You done it in 50 likes. Can't believe it. Hit that like button, people, for us if you haven't hit it. 105 of you in here at the moment. Big up to all of you. Now we've had a little. Well, Dan has and Mark has. I haven't really, but I should do really. But I haven't took the piss out of Arsenal. I'm very wary, Dan. Me.
No.
I'm very wary. I'm very wary, me. I don't know because, like I said earlier, we've been on the end of it before, Dan. You know, the Champions League final in 19. It's not as a fan of the club that loses, it's not pleasant, is it? To be honest with you, it's not. But I do get it. I get it why people take the piss. And like I said earlier, I don't want Arsenal to win nothing at the end of the day. But you know, they've won the league. They were the best team over 38 games. They didn't get it over the line last night. And if they'd have been braver, like you're saying, like many people have said, not just in last night's game, but in other games where Arteta's sat, you know, and been a bit more negative during the game, then like Dan says, perhaps they would have got it over the line last night. Like I said, I didn't watch it, so who knows if they would have got it over the line.
If they cut their hand off, Mark, obviously you're not going to be that sort of person that leaves them there, yeah? I wouldn't be the sort of person that leaves them there. I'd drag the poor Arsenal fella straight into my house. Don't worry, mate. I'll help you out. I'd fill up a bucket of white vinegar, put the salt in there, and then put his arm in it. You know, like clean him up, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Put that extra salt and paint in it. There you go, mate. Don't worry, nothing toxic. Now get up the fucking hospital on your own. And you've got to rub it. You've got to rub it into them. It's exactly what they've done to us. It's part of the sport. I mean, football is about as caveman as it gets when it comes
tribal,
back to tribalism. Exactly. Mia was saying it last night.
Yeah.
Football supporters are like cavemen when it comes to that sort of thing. Yeah. Deal with it. If you can't handle the pressure and you can't handle the crap, supporters or fans, whatever, then you're in the wrong bloody job as far as I'm concerned. You take the good that comes with it, you got to take the crap that comes with it.
Yeah.
They ripped us to shit when we lost that game to Liverpool.
Yeah.
And it was just nice giving it back.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, them handballs that I saw, remember the one against Sissoko when it hit him in the armpit?
Mm-hmm.
They were more blatant handballs than that. Because I was saying, all the Arsenal fans that was in the pub, I was like, hang on a minute. Look, in 2019, it hit Sissoko in the armpit. And it was given as a penalty. That was after what, 50 seconds or so of the game.
Yeah, just totally wrecked the game, didn't it? Really,
it didn't ruin the game.
Yeah.
The other thing,
go on.
The Arsenal handballs, I've seen both of them given.
Yeah, and it was one of them was clearly up on there and on his hand while it was away from him. You know what as well that also done this as well, taking again the Spurs side out of it. Why is it every other team in England wanted them to lose? Every other team. If you go through YouTube and watch a couple of channels like I did like early hours of this morning whilst having a drink, literally every other team wanted them to lose. There's a reason to it. Why? Because they're a smug bunch of little pricks. And when you start acting like that, people start treating you like that, basically. And in a lot of ways, they got what they deserved. I mean, that bus parade, they already had it all sorted out for doubles, for double winners and everything. They were sure, they was 99% sure it was going through on them, basically. And when you start acting like that towards people, don't be surprised when people go and rub your face in it when it goes wrong.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I'll get where you're coming from, Dan. I'll get where you're coming from. Listen, I fucking hate Arsenal, mate. Just the same as the rest of us, mate. I'm not an Arsenal lover at all, and you know, I was as I was growing up, I was always told, you know, Arsenal will always be your enemy, Mark. Just remember that always. So listen, I don't like them at all. It is what it is. We had a little. Where is it? There was a thing here. Yeah, Dan, what's happening in the Spurs world? Let's change tack a little bit. Has there been any news, Dan? Because I haven't seen much. I don't know. I know you do X and stuff like that, and have a look at them bits and pieces on there. Since we spoke the other day, we were talking about has it actually been confirmed now that Robertson and Senesi are definitely coming in? It's sorted, is it?
From what I've seen, is pretty much done and dusted. From what I've seen on that one, as far as I know, we've got them two, which I think is a good start for 2 freebies, definitely.
Yeah.
And then we got to do what a few of us were saying yesterday. I think we've got another 6 to 8 buys, or even a loan or 2 in there that we need to make, whilst also getting a significant amount of players out at the same time. We've really got to do something with this team to try and fix it up a little bit, because it is that bad. You don't finish 17th back to back for no reasons. And we've really got to try and make the transfers. I mean, there's rumours of anything and everything coming in all over the place.
Yeah.
How much you take serious? I mean, do we get Savinio? That's another one that's big on the list at the moment, and saying for 35 million.
Which is a big difference compared to the 70 million they wanted.
Yeah, I was going to say it was 60 or 70 last year.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at who we got on the freebie, Senesi. I mean, I still struggle to pronounce his bloody name, but Senesi. When you look at his statistics, they're bloody good.
Yeah.
They're better than Romero's, and I don't like Romero. I really don't. I don't rate him, and he's another one. The quicker we get rid of him and make a bit of money and get a bit of money off of him, the better. You don't need that mentality in your club. But it's just usual Spurs rumours going about, and some of them you look at and you think, okay, that's possible, and others you look at and you just think that is not going to happen.
Yeah.
But we got to put the money where the mouth is now on the wages and everything. It's the only thing that we can attract anyone with, to show that we mean business, to show that, like, right, these 2 years have been a total screw up. We're going to get these lot out of the club. We're going to get you lot in the club, and we are building from here on. That's what they got to portray themselves at. Can they do it? I very much doubt it. I think we're going to improve, because I don't think they want their business to go back to how their business has nearly collapsed.
Well,
so
to be honest, Dan, they can't get much worse, can they?
No.
You know, I mean, this is another chance that they have to show the fans that they mean business, like every summer and every January. But sadly, they don't very often do it, if ever do it. Because we know we need at least 2 forwards and a left winger.
Listen, I'll take this geezer, right? I was banging the drum a bit for this bloke in the summer. I don't mind admitting, right? It hasn't been good for him at City. He's had 1 or 2 sort of cameo impressive performances at City. All I will say is look at what we've got now, right? And no one can tell me Savinho will not improve this team, right? He can cross a ball, right? For number 1, he can cross a ball. He can take a man on. Number 2, have we got anyone in our team that can do that? No, we haven't. So if 35 million gets Savinho in and we've got a left winger, I'll take him all day. For me, Dan, I don't know what you think. That's just, I've always liked him, though. I just think he's a very techie player. And when his confidence is high, he's a very good player. I just that's where I am with it.
I would personally do a bit of shopping elsewhere and a bit of looking at least, Would I say no to him? Of course I wouldn't say no to him. He's a million times better than what we got up there. I mean, Tell is absolute crap, and he has been since the minute we got him. Considering where his best cross of the whole season was in front of our own bloody goal, just about says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But this is where I think a few of us have just got to take that step back. And okay, we'd all love to do a menu. Totally have screwed the season up, everything else. Right, there's 350 million. There you are, back up into 3rd place. It can be done. But will it be done with Spurs? You got just as much chance of winning the lottery, but you can only hit and hope.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, we was meant to have about 150 million to spend in January, and we spent 30 million. So that money in January, if they want to be technical, should come over to the money in the summer, which would at least be 150 with Spurs. Yeah. We should easily have about 250 million there to spend. And if anything, they've got to put some of their own money into this as well if they want this to go somewhere, because they're going to have to put their own money into it to save their own bloody business.
Yeah.
Because they nearly lost everything when it comes to sponsors and everything else. So surely there's going to have to be at least 250 in there spending money.
And that's without what you get for people that we get rid of as well, Dan. You know, there's a lot to go out. So I'm not saying there's, you got Romero, if he goes, what's he, 45, 50 million if he goes?
I don't think he's going to go for the sort of money that was talked about maybe a year ago. Like
35, I'd let him go. 35, I'd let him go.
There's another 35 to the 250 straight away. Do you know what I mean? I know it don't work like that as such, but you know what I mean, though.
You're just rounding it off and being realistic. I mean, it's like when people told me if Van der Ven goes, we get 100 million. I'm like, oh, wake up and smell the coffee, mate. He's not a £100 million player, for God's sake. He is a good defender, nothing more, nothing less, in my opinion. But the thing that gives him, he's very fast. You look at others we can get rid of. Do we get rid of both strikers? Like we were saying yesterday, I think we're safer getting rid of one and then maybe one next season, unless we bring in 2 now. So Richarlison, you'll get 10 mil for him. We could probably rake up about 80 million, 70 million in the players we can sell.
Yeah.
and then get a couple out on loan on top of the spending money we've got. If people players see us throwing these players out, basically, that's a good sign, isn't it?
Oh,
right, they're not. You're not good enough. Get out. We want better players. I would have thought that's a good sign. I mean, Rashford, I can't stand him. Genuinely, I can't stand him, but I'll take him at Spurs all day long.
Yeah, absolutely, I would too.
Because whether I like the fella or not, it's like Romero. Whether I like him or not ain't the point. It's the fact that he just don't turn up. Terrible captain, terrible attitude. Thinks he's got a bigger pair of bollocks than the club and everything. And I just can't stand the fella, and haven't done for 2 years. There's just so much we got to mess about with on this team, and get a lot of it right.
He's got to be the worst captain I've seen at the club.
Yeah, and that's going.
I mean, let's face it. He only rocked up the last day because everyone was on his back.
Yes, because he got told he shouldn't have even thought about that. As a captain, he should have been right. Okay, I've got to be there, but I can get there on my special jet anyway within 6 hours. I'm going to be there for the game, and then baked potato, I'm going to go. He actually had to get told to come back, basically.
Yeah.
And I don't want that as much. Did I think Son was a good captain? No, I thought he was a terrible captain on the pitch. But he was a good captain off the pitch. Romero, from what I've read, I can only go by what I read, same as using that. As far as you could see, he was not a good captain on the pitch. And from what I heard, he's not a good captain in the box either, basically. He's meant to be quite toxic. You know, just walk in, do as he wants, when he wants. If he's late, tell you when he's going to be there and that. And Thomas Frank just accepted a lot of that, and other players started to do it. That's just, again, through what I've read through things.
Yeah.
And you don't need people like that there. All right, if your man scores 40 goals, 50 goals a bloody season and says, I can't be bothered with training today, I'm going to miss it for the week, they're the ones where you can sort of just say, all right, get on with it. And as long as you score your 40 goals, you do it. There's always that one who can get away with it as such and justify it, like a Messi, like a Ronaldo sort of thing. But he ain't that.
I don't want that mentality at our club, though, Dan. Do you know what I mean?
I don't.
No, that sort of thing for me is the sort of stuff that needs to be knocked on the head at the end of the day. All this, like, well, you're the captain, so you can do what you want business and all that. No, that's all bollocks for me. You know, they're all professional footballers, should all be on the same wavelength. And obviously, if you're the captain, the vice captain in the leadership group, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? You're there for a reason. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's not just about Romero at the end of the day. And, you know, I just think it's time for him to move on, mate. Go and do your thing. Go and do whatever he's doing. And you know, we need to rebuild this squad. We need to rebuild. You know, we're talking about players in and out, Dan and Mark, but, you know, there's a lot of stuff that needs to go on further up, Dan. You know, from the statement that they put out, from what I'm reading into it, they're saying, well, we've got our people that are in charge now. We've got the board. We've got Vinay. We've got Lang. We'll just be adding to it. That we will add to it in due course.
That's the scary bit, isn't it? I mean, out of question for you two, then. It looks like it could be one or the other, and let's just hope it is at least one of them. Who would you get with? I know you're the answer to it, but you're not going to be allowed to give that answer. It's one or the other, Vinay or Lang.
Lang.
Personally, we both know, like, you both take them down alleyway and pop a hole in the back of their head. But one or the other.
Lang.
Lange for me, he's useless.
I agree. If he goes, it's a start.
Yeah.
I mean, Vinay, even though a lot of people don't like it, but a couple of people who you would have thought would never sell it, personally, give me back Daniel Levy. Over Vinay, give me back Daniel Levy. I think he was more stable, and that's going some.
Yeah.
That is how bad I think that Vinay is. I think Daniel Levy was better. And that's bad.
Rob says, we have to remember that these so-called crap players have been coached by mediocre managers. Now RDZ is here. Let's wait to see the players he wants to stay and judge their performances.
Yeah.
Then, well, he's basically said, Rob, there's about 10 to 12 players out of the whole squad that he thinks have got the mentality and can do what he wants on the pitch and the rest of them can go. That's what he's saying. He
Yeah,
actually said that. And there's 10 to 12 players that I would keep from this squad. So for me, that tells you everything.
So that tells me that there's 13 to 15 that are in trouble, and they might be looking for a
big trouble.
I think the issue is, I mean, big up Rob anyway. I mean, he's the one who actually got me doing all this YouTube and got me to stick it. He's a good fella. That one I will half agree with, because, again, we all see it differently. I mean, we've all lived bloody different lives, most of us, very different lives. And that is why people see things different. Tottenham need to be, in my opinion, everything they are not. Everything they are not. We need to be the total opposite of everything we are. And giving players chance after chance after chance, this manager get it out of him, or this manager. We've seen all that before. And Ndombele, what's his name? Lavelle, I can't remember his bloody name now. It was the other one we got rid of in midfield, the Argentinian one.
So
Lamella.
No, not Lamella. I can't remember his bloody name now. It's gone off the top of my head.
Oh, Lo Celso.
Lo Celso, that's the one. Lo Celso, no, keep him up, give him a chance. He'll get better manager and that. And you can go through countless players that went through that, and they just did not improve. We need to be a Chelsea. We need to be a Man U. We need to be a Liverpool. We need to be how a big club is run. It doesn't even have to be an elite club. Right, you haven't performed, whether it's been 3 or 4 managers. You ain't good enough. Baked potato, mate. See you later. Yeah, but I can't find a different club to go. I don't give a toss, mate. You're out. You're gone. You're not good enough. We need to be cold. We need to be cool. We need to be calm. We need to be calculated. We need to be not far off evil on here, because you do not get to the top of this world through being nice. Not in sport. You don't. It's that phrase I use. Dog eat dog world.
It's a dog eat dog world.
You got to look after yourself, because no one else will bloody do it. And the club has finally got to get its act together and start being cold and heartless. If you have not performed, I mean, look what Chelsea have done with players. They've bought in players for like 70, 80, 90 million, and then they had a terrible see you later, mate, you ain't good enough. They were gone and had another player in there. And yeah, some of the ones they've done it with have bit them in the arse as well. And then other ones they've done it with, you can understand why. Other clubs do it. Yeah. So why do we always hang on to it? And this is why I say Spurs are a very sentimental club. It's like we get our little thing of the past or whatever, our little bit of hope, and we just can't let it go. Certain players, we've struggled to ever let them go. But he done this at Spurs, but he done this at Spurs. I don't care if he's a Spurs legend for the past 10 years. If he's not performing now, it's a business in that aspect. He's got to go. We need better if you want to win.
I got 2 examples of that, Dan.
Go for it.
Lloris, we kept him 2 or 3 years too long.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone could see he was declining.
Mm-hmm.
And then there had no plans to, because he was a great Spurs keeper, but in the last, his legacy at Tottenham has been ruined by the last couple of years he was there.
Because the mud sticks, didn't it?
Yeah, and you got to look at Sonny as well. Sonny was slowing down. He was still scoring goals, but he wasn't the player he was for the last couple of years he was with us.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree. Question here, Dan, for all of us, from Pete. Says, with recent Spurs' recent league positions, how much will that affect your pulling power for players?
Well, to be honest, the likes of Archie Graham-Bergford, all they do is bring them in and show them the stadium. Oh, look at this big shiny ball, and they're just wowed over by it. Look at our facilities, look at this. I mean, to me, there is still Port Club. We just got to pay the money. Because let's face it, players go to a football team for the money. They don't go there because it's very rare of them. Players will come to Tottenham. Oh, I've always been a Tottenham fan, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But the only one I can think of is that lad from Bristol. He's a Tottenham fan, isn't he? Is he at Bournemouth? What's his name?
Oh, Alex Scott.
Alex Scott. Yeah, he's a Tottenham fan.
Yeah. Yeah. And that leads on to another question, actually. Listen, Pete, just going before I go on to the next question. Personally, I think they're spot on what they're saying. It's about the money, right? It's about what they can get paid, right? Nowadays, I think this, and I'm one of these that say, look, I want players to come to play for Spurs because they want to play for Spurs. I think them days are over.
Yeah,
To be quite honest with you, the more I do this on here, and I am sentimental a bit like that, you know what I mean? But I want players that want to play for Spurs, that want to wear that shirt. But I think them days are gone, mate. And like the lads say, I think it's all about the money. And that leads on to my next question, which I did ask you, I think, Dan, yesterday or the day before, whenever you was on, about the wage cap. Now, Spurs are saying that they've lifted the wage cap last season, and we've now got 2 or 3 players that are around the 200 grand mark, just over, just under, whatever it is, right? In your opinion, does that cap need to go higher from 200 grand to get the players in that we even need now? Not necessarily players that are of the higher echelons, Dan, but are, what the fuck is that?
Missed penalty.
Man, I was in the middle of a question there. What are you doing to me, man? Come on. You mad man. I've lost what I was talking about now. Better players, Dan, and wage cap. So obviously the higher echelon of player, yeah, he's probably not going to come to a 17th place. Whereas I mean, like top players. But you said it the other day about it. Amir said it, I think, as well, about it being not necessarily we finished 17th twice. We'll do a Man United to go and finish 3rd this year. Is it a case of we've got to take smaller steps because we're not big old Tottenham Hotspur like you said anymore?
We're not. I think scouting has been one of the biggest. There's been so many problems at Spurs that we've all argued about. And when I stepped back and looked at it for a bit, I don't think anybody's been particularly wrong with the problem. I've always preached what I think are the biggest problems. You've always said what you think are the biggest problems. Sean's always said, Stell's always said, Sav has always said about what he thinks the biggest problems are. Danny K, Dietrich, Maz, the whole list of us can go on, Mia and everyone.
Yeah.
And I think the thing was, I don't think anybody was wrong. It was just the fact that there was that many problems that everybody was right on what they were saying. It's just some people portray that problem bigger than the next person to portray that problem. But it doesn't mean it's not a problem. It's still a problem. Just I see that problem more than you. You might see that problem more than I do. I think everybody was right. There is so many problems at this place that need to get sorted out. It's not going to take 5 minutes. Wage cap for me has been a big problem. Not the only problem, not at all. And it has cost us players time and time again. And now, what pulling power do we have? I think there's certain players that might be on 100 grand where we're going to have to offer them 150 grand to make them look over, basically. But I think the main thing we need, more than anything, when it comes to getting players now, is a scouting system that can actually do that job. Because you haven't got to go out and spend 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 million on good players. Now, I'm all for getting a player that's not, let's say, fully established yet at his best. But I don't want to be buying 18-year-olds for 40 million. I don't want to be buying 18, 19-year-olds who've never even played Premier League football for 60 million. I don't want to be buying strikers that have only ever had one good season in their entire life when they're 26. So go and get me some 24, 25, 26-year-olds who maybe aren't fully established as a player yet at their best, but you can definitely see where there's room for improvement. Simmons is one I'll go with. For me, Simmons was a hit and hope in the aspect of we didn't buy him for what he is. We bought him for what he could be in the next 5-6 years. I don't want that. I want players for what they are now, that they are good enough now, and then can also improve in the next couple of years. not ones where you think that you hope they get better over the next 4 years. And this is where I think we just got to be ruthless in that aspect. We've tried doing it with the kids. There's people still saying that we should build around our young team and that. Yeah, look where that got us for 2 years. So I think we need that scouting system to level it right in there, to get the age structure right in there, to get the experience right in there, to get the quality, the leader. We need men in this team. And this is a lot of it is going to come down to a scouting system. And yeah, maybe we are going to have to pay some extra wages on players who might not be on those sort of wages, because what else do we actually have to offer, really?
Not a lot, mate. We haven't got a lot to offer at all, have we? Finishing 17th twice, you know, like you say, the big shiny bowl and all that sort of stuff. If that pulls players in as such, but listen, there's players out there. This is one player I wanted to ask you about, Dan. I've been banging the drum for this geezer for quite a while, and you know your Italian football, right? Now we're talking about wage caps and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I said in January, why don't we go and get Vlahovic? Why don't we go and get everyone's? Oh, he's on 340 grand a week. How can we go? Listen, right? I'm telling all of you now. I don't care how much money he's on. There's ways and means that they can attract that player to our club, right? He's had quite a season last year, right? But listen, if you put the right player in the right team, he'll score you goals. Trust me, they'll score you goals. Now, Vlahovic is on a free, Dan, now. Right? He's on 340 grand a week. So why can't you say to him, look, for argument's sake, Dan, if they didn't want to break the wage cap, right? Bear in mind, we're at 200 grand at the moment, right? He's on 340. I'm sure they could give him a signing on fee to bring the wage down. I'm sure there's other ways that they could do it. Is he the sort of player, Dan, that we should be going for? Because you know more about Italian football than I do. So
at Fiorentina, he was one of the biggest upcoming strikers on the planet. He looked shit hot when he was at Fiorentina. At Juventus, he's been very shady. He's had moments. Wherever he goes, he's not going to get those wages again. He's definitely not going to get it in Italy because the clubs just have not. Bar Como, everyone out there is Brassic, basically. Inter are Brassic. AC are Brassic. Juventus haven't got the money, the power that they used to with all that. Most of the times in Italy now, the way they spend the money, people tell me, yeah, but that club spent 200 million. Yeah, then look at the players they sold for 170 million. You know, that's how it weighs up in Italy these days. Spain, bar Real Madrid and Barcelona, they can't pay what they used to pay. They haven't got the pulling power money-wise that they had, still significantly more than others. There's no big team out there that I don't think is actually going to go for him. No elite team.
Okay.
The only way he's going to get the sort of money he wants if he goes to somewhere where it's definitely, let's just say, a little bit corrupt on the money side, and that's somewhere like Turkey or even Portugal. If he comes to the Premier League, and I think he's one that we can go for, he's another one on a free, put him on 200k and say, right, there's your 2-3 year contract, whatever. And you know what, mate? There's your 8 million, 10 million signing on fee.
Yeah.
Because everyone wants a signing on fee anyway, don't they? That's usually how they get more out of it, why they wait to the end of the contract. Yeah. Look at Haaland. They paid 46 million for him and then paid him like 100 million signing on fee, basically. I think we can get him personally. Is he going to be worse than Richie? I very much doubt it. Is he going to be worse than Solanke? I very much doubt it. It's why not? In that aspect, in some things, you do have to take chances. He is an established player. He is a good player. Will he handle the Premiership? I just don't know. But is he going to be worse than what we've got? I very much doubt it in that aspect. I really don't think so. So if we was able to get him on a free as well, that would be 3 players we've got on a free. That at least 2 of them you would say would be starters. Robertson's going to play games here and there, and I think he's going to be very good for the dressing room. But I think Senesi's going to be on the pitch straight off, and so would Vlahovic if we got him. He's free. Go for him. And I know people will complain about it. Oh, we're only seeing free transfer. No, I'm seeing transfers coming in. And if it's another one on free, then that's another 40, 50, 60 million that we can put on
And
another
if it's
player.
better than what you've got, yeah. If it's better
Who's
than what
losing?
you've got and it's free, I ain't got no problem with that. It's when they get free transfers in it, and you know it's going to be a fucking nightmare from day one. Let's bring Danny in. Let's bring DK in.
One thing, Mark, quick.
Go on, mate.
Alex, Mr. Box Office, trying to send you a message down here.
Right.
Saying he can't get hold of the link.
Right. I'll put it in again now. I'll put the link in again now. Sorry, mate.
There you go, man.
There we go, Alex. Thanks, Dan. There you go, Alex. More than welcome to come on. Anyone else wants to come on? The link's in the bottom of the chat. Big up to everyone for being in this morning, Sunday morning. 125 of you in here at the moment. Hit that like button if you haven't, and please hit the subscribe button. We've just gone past the 1250 mark now, and we're on our way to 1300. So big up to everyone. Danny, DK, how are you this morning, mate? How are you feeling? I'm taking it full of the joys of spring. Looking at your background, mate. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
Dan. Of course. It was an interesting day yesterday. Before I start speaking about Spurs, I just got one thing to say, all right? Arsenal! You're good.
DK's broke. He's broke down. He's gone.
Mate, I'm shameless as fuck. I don't give a shit.
I never knew that, Dan.
Mate, those Arsenal. I had one Arsenal fan who's a friend from many years ago, and when he won the league, I swear for about 5 days he just didn't stop posting shit. So I had to block him because it was just non-stop. And then as soon as it happened, oh my days, the amount of shit I was posting him, it was just funny. It was so funny. Oh, good. I'm so glad that they did not win because it was the funniest thing, right? I swear to God, it was Arsenal are the most hated team in the country. Like I've never seen hate-alongs for Arsenal than they were for anyone else. I've never seen it. The amount of hate-alongs were on YouTube and not just YouTube, but like you saw like on Twitter, like there were people in people's homes and in bars, and everyone was fucking hating on Arsenal. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. And for the two people to miss those penalties, oh, just it was just the cherry on top of the cake, literally. And Gabriel, the one to miss it off, and he's the most scumbag player there is. Oh, it was just beautiful. It was poetry in motion. It really was poetry in motion. You couldn't have written a better ending to that. So yeah, it was great. It was great day yesterday. I actually had a really good day because I didn't watch the game. I only watched the last 15 minutes and because I was out, and the extra time, last 15 minutes extra time and the penalties. So I kind of caught the best bit, really, to be honest.
Sounds like you did.
Yeah. It was good. It was all good.
Alex,
glad Arsenal didn't win it.
Yeah, well, I think we all are, mate. I think, well, apart from Pete in the chat, he's not happy, but big up, Pete. Alex, how are you this morning, mate? What are your thoughts on last night? And whatever you want to talk about, mate, you crack on.
Yeah, big up to everybody. It's still box office though, yeah.
Sorry,
So he's disappeared now. The waffle has just disappeared now. I was just about to ask if that is that how Danny's looking now these days? You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. You know what I mean? Like, thank the F they didn't win that cup, man. Thank the F. Thank you very much. I echo everybody what they're saying because it's not about online for me. It's like it's what Alex had to deal with on a daily basis when they won that league. I couldn't get away from Arsenal fans. Oh, it was an absolute joy and relief that they lost yesterday. And saw Arsenal fans with their tail between their legs. You know what I mean? Honestly,
It proves there may be a God. It proves that there may be a God up there.
Oh, just honestly, like, you know what I mean? Because I like, it's not about online. You can get away with it online. You just need to shut it off. But when Alex is going to raves, Arsenal fans, DJs, Arsenal fans, banging on about the Champions League, banging on about their league. When he's going on to the day job, whatever, again, use your imagination, none of your business, right? It's like, Arsenal fans sitting next to me, ladies, Arsenal fans sitting next to me, going on about the parade and everything else. You know what I mean? It's not just men, it's ladies as well. You know what I mean? There's loads. There is loads. Yeah, football's for everybody, by the way. Football's for everybody, just to clarify. Not you know what I mean? Yeah, big up. Oh, now he's showing his face now. Big up my deluded friend. Danny. But the point is though, I'm just so glad. And you'll never ever see me say this again. It's just because I couldn't stand it anymore. If Arsenal won that Champions League, my life wouldn't be worth living in the nicest possible way, football wise. Because I couldn't get away from it. I literally could not get away from it. And I will not hear the end of it until the end of the summer. But maybe even till the end of the year. Because every single DJ, every single time I go to work, Arsenal fans with the Arsenal shirts, chatting about their bloody win. Sorry, I can't do it anymore. I couldn't do it anymore. You know what I mean? It got to a point where I was just like, even yesterday, I had an Arsenal fan where I was out, banging on about, we're going to win the Champions League. We're going to win the Champions League in Tottenham, where I was. You know what I mean? It was too much. I partly agree with my deluded friend Danny that they're most hated fans. I think Tottenham are as well because we are the most embarrassing, snobbish fan base in the Premier League by none.
No, we're not. We're not the most hated team. We're just the most banterish team.
Well, yeah, banterish, but we're snobbish as well.
Alex is quite right there. We are a very disliked bunch as well because Spurs are looked on as a very snobby, sort of stuck-up rich man's club to an extent. Yep. This is how I talk about it with people I know, and almost preach on about how big we are and have absolutely nothing to show for it. We ain't the most popular ones out there as well, but people just despise Arsenal in general because a lot of their fans, the majority of them, mate, they're just stuck up their own arse basically so that they can smell yesterday's dinner. And you do know they would have, someone like Chelsea, they go and win it, they put it in your face and then get on with it. Same as Man U, same as City, same as Arsenal just would not have stopped going on about this for 20 years.
They were going on about it, Daddy. Honestly, they were going on about it all. Honestly, it was literally from me going home on the Tuesday night. Arsenal fans, right? Then I'm going to work. Then going to the day job. Arsenal fans. Then I'm going to a rave. Arsenal fans. City Splash. Arsenal fans. TJ. Arsenal fan. It just got too much. It got too much. Like I go to, church. Arsenal fan. You know what I mean? In the Tottenham church, Arsenal fan. It was too much. I was like, oh no, seriously, I'm done with this. My ex-girlfriend, Arsenal fan. Bloody hell!
That's self-inflicted, mate. That's self-inflicted. No sympathy there. No sympathy there, Alex.
Way too much. You're even telling me to be a bloody Arsenal fan. Go away.
No, don't go bloody sleep with one then, mate. That's self-inflicted.
No, mate, it's too much. It was too much. Honestly, I couldn't do it anymore. I was saying, and then I said to, and even Alex's brother, Arsenal fan. You know what I mean? Oh. The dad's blaming the mother for bringing him to bloody Highbury, yeah? When he was supposed to be a Tottenham fan, and my dad was absolutely fuming. You get what I'm saying? Leslie's got on top of the brother of Alex, by the way. You know what I mean? Big up to him. You know what I mean? But the point is, though, yeah, big up to the ex-girlfriend as well, right? You get what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's the Alex side because he's too nice. He's too nice. Yeah, I'll even do.
You should have just done the manly thing and messaged her and asked, "Are you okay?" with a kiss at the end of it.
Oh no, but it's just too much. It's too much. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Please, PSG, do me a favor. Yeah, do me a favor. And Arteta did me a favor because he did what Arteta always does: play it safe, be pragmatic, and doing absolutely what he should have. He does all the time. Doesn't go for it, and he let PSG win that game, and they bottled it. And thank you very much. Thank you. You have your parade today, and then you can shut up and go away. Bye-bye. See you later. And that's the only time I'm going to be banterish right now for Mr. Box Office. So treasure that for the rest of your life. Back to you, Mark.
That's very kind of you, Alex. Thank you very much. Just going to bring this up, and absolutely, we won't have any of this on the channel. If there's anyone, right, in the chat giving it the beans on the racism front,
there was one, I think.
You will be banned. We won't have it in here. So let's just knock that on the head straight away, please.
They have been, I think.
All right, fair play.
I'm
fair
sure
play.
sort of that.
Alex, moving on, as you jumped in, we was talking, Dan and all of us had got on to Spurs and moved on from Arsenal. You know, we was talking about Senesi and Robertson coming in. Even though they're free, Alex, decent signings for you?
Listen, Senesi's a good signing, right? Regardless what you say, right? You know, it's the age and stuff. You know, you have to look at his recent form. He's good. You know what I mean? So he has to hit the ground running, though. There's none of this. Oh well, he needs time to settle in. No, sorry, no, we're not here to give flowers out here or Blue Peter badges here. Or
he's a Premier League player. He should settle down pretty quick.
We need to just get going. You know, this is why we get signings in like this. We need to get them, you know, get straight going and straight away. Same with Robertson. You know, experience. Whether regardless he's falling off, still we need him to start getting the ground running straight away. Those are the sort of players you get in to hit the ground running, right? Because we ain't got enough of them, right? So it's a good start. It's one of those transfers that you sit there and think, well, if they can make this sort of transfer, what was this excuse in the summer and January? What was these excuses? If they're capable of doing that, why can they not do it?
The reason it's been done, Alex, is because if you look at it, this is from my perspective, right? He's 25, whatever he is, 24, 25, 26, whatever he is, right? He's played in the Premier League. Spurs have got him for nothing, yeah? If they have him for 3 years, yeah, and it works out all okay, like the player that we all seem to think he is. Obviously, there's improvement in him, but player of the year at Bournemouth this year, right? It works both ways, Alex, because we might get a decent player, and then Enoch have got a player they can sell for 30, 40 million, yeah, in 3 or 4 years' time, that they got for nothing.
I know.
You know what I mean? So it does work both, but I think he's a very good signing, Alex. I would never say no to a free. And we was just talking, Dan and I were just talking about Vlahovic, right? We're talking about we want better players in, right? He's on a free, right? You're not telling me, even if he's fell off a little bit last season, right, that he is no better than Solanke or Richarlison.
I'm not too sure about him, but at the same time, it's like the whole thing with Rashford, for instance. Yeah. I can't. As we're in this position at the moment, I look at, you know, when Leicester City back in the day with Martin O'Neill, right?
Yes,
you used to get signings in that were didn't do well in their big clubs, right? Fell off a little bit, and he used to bring them in, like a Di Canio, for instance, right? West Ham used to bring in, you know, back in the day, used to bring in players that were just kind of, they had a bit of they started really well, then they fell off going to a big club, and then the big club wanted to just let them go because, you know, we can't keep them anymore. And so West Ham would have taken a chance on them, right? Or Leicester City would have taken a chance on them. Harry Redknapp would have taken a chance on them, and Martin O'Neill would have taken a chance on them. And they refreshed them and gave them a new lease of life. I think it was Davis I think it was a Southampton Davis at the time. I can't remember his name now. Dave Davis. I think it was Southampton. I think it was Blackburn or Southampton. I think it was. He had a really bad time at a club, and he came to. I think he came.
Stephen Davis, the Northern Irish international.
No. It was a striker. He was a striker,
Oh.
and then he went to Bolton. He went to Bolton one time. He went to Bolton, I think.
Kevin Davis.
Yeah, and I think he and then Sam Allardyce refreshed him and revitalized him. I think we're going to have to do that sort of mission when we're doing transfers right now. You know what I mean? Because the young players thing, I'm kind of giving up on. I'm not with it anymore. You're not going to get your players at your prime because all the top teams are going to be looking at them. So then you're going to have to look at that market where you're going to have to take a chance on a player. It's like that Timo Werner thing where you thought, okay, maybe that was too far gone, that one. But there might be other players that are at top clubs that are not really playing really well at the moment, like the Grealish last season, and just bring them in and then try and revitalize them and give them a new direction, new impetus, and that's it, really. You get what I'm saying? Because I think that's the only way forward for me right now. So maybe Vlahovic would be one. I'm not too sure. I'll be honest with you. I'm not too sure. But I do think I would be more leaning towards a Rashford, if I'm really honest with you.
That one ain't going to happen.
I understand what you're saying, Dan, but I think Rashford would be more my type of striker because he's got something to prove. I think that's why I'm directly towards that. But I think that's where we have to look at the moment.
He thinks he's too big for Man U. He thinks he's too big for Man U, mate. So he ain't going to come to little old Spurs.
I hear, but I just think we need to look for players that are.
His attitude is worse than Romero's.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough, then. But I'm just looking at players that have been at the big clubs and have fell off a lot, and they just need a little bit of a different scenery. And I think that's what we need with De Zerbi, because I think De Zerbi will have to use that sort of get those sort of players in that could need something to prove in the Premier League. I think that's what we need at the moment. I think.
Are you basically saying, just so I can try and understand you here, are you basically saying that you want players that are more established with a bit of potential, than who've played a couple of years with a load of potential, basically? Players that can do it now, who quite possibly could improve, not players that you're just pure buying on a potential.
No, exactly. But they fell off at their clubs, and then they're not playing at the moment, and they need a new scenery.
Yeah, need revitalising.
Revitalising, and maybe you could use them. That's what that's the way I'm looking at it. Like Martin O'Neill did back in the day, like Harry Redknapp did back in the day with West Ham, and like what Sam Allardyce did back in the day as well, back with Bolton. I think that's the way we're going to have to go right now, because at the moment I think there's a lot of players, and I'm sticking to what I say, and I'm only saying it because I'm a match-going fan, and I've seen too many times the same things, and I can't be realistic with the squad anymore. Get rid of all of them, most of them. Even Paul.
I think the thing we need to look for is stop looking at what Man U have gone and done, because we are just little old Spurs. We are not Man United in that aspect. I personally want to look for some stability. I want a bit of consistency. So if you give me an offer now of 8th or 10th place next season, I'll snap your hand off straight away. And then 8th the following season, I'll snap your hand up straight away. And then I'll see progress from there. I'm willing to sit back and wait now, because I've seen us try it every other way and it hasn't worked. We've nearly been relegated. Okay, first one, 17th. We weren't getting relegated. That's why we blew the league out and went for the bloody cup blatantly. Even the players and manager have admitted it now. Okay, I get that one. But then this year was about as close as it gets. So I think we actually need to take a step back on some of the players that we would want at Spurs to the realistic players we could get at Spurs to give us some stability. Instead of going out and looking at 70, 80, 90 million players, not what we're going to do. They're not I don't think they're the players we need. I think no matter how much I hate saying it, I think Arsenal is who we need to mirror and copy. basically start getting your team established, start building the team up, start getting that first 11 good. And then once you start getting it good and consistency and established, then start adding some stars onto it. Not just try and get a load of stars and throw it in there, basically. I think we need consistency at this club more than anything for the next season.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion on it.
Yeah.
Right, everyone. I got to go and get something to eat.
Go on then, mate.
You all right, mate? Wrapping up?
All good, man. All good, mate. Yeah.
All
Cheers,
right.
Sheriff.
Take it easy,
Big
mate.
up, panel.
I'll speak to you in a bit anyway.
Big up, chat. Yeah. I'll speak to you in a bit, mate.
All right, mate. No worries.
All right.
Cheers, Sheriff. See you in
Big
a
up,
bit, mate.
chat. Big up,
See you in a
panel.
bit. Ta-ra, mate. Danny, where are you at with it, with the transfers in and Spurs spending money and then getting free players in, free as in free transfers? Listen, we've got the money, Danny, to spend. We all know that. What do you see Spurs doing in this window? Because like Dan said, there's so much to do, not just players in, players out, but further up in the hierarchy. Where do you expect us to be doing any business in the transfer window, knowing that we've got so many areas that we need to deal with?
It's a good question. It's hard to kind of say what's going to happen. I mean, we can only obviously assume and guess, but I don't think any of us know what's truly going to happen, because we might all think something will happen, but it is the kind of first summer window without Daniel Levy and with the different, not strategy, but different people at play who are making the decisions, right, for transfers in and out. And if it's true what they're saying about they're not looking to bring in someone to work with Lange, they're looking to get an actual replacement for him, then it's good signs in that way, because I said this so many times in the season that they're not going to get rid of both Lange and Vinay. It's just not going to happen. It won't. It's not possible, because you can't take away, as unfortunately as it is, Vinay probably knows more about football and how running a football club works than Vivian Lewis and an ex-banker and Charlie, right?
Yeah,
that's the fact of it. That's the truth. People might not want to like to hear that, but that is the truth. He does know more about running a football club than those guys. So from their perspective, he is someone who will run it better than them, right? He might not run it well, but we don't know that yet. He has only been there a year, right? I'm not trying to say that I want Vinay there. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate, because at the moment we've got, like you said, Cookie, we've got so many things to change, and you can't change everything in one go. It is going to take time, right? It does. So I think what I'd like to see this summer is, personally, I'd like to see someone like Dougie Freeman as a sporting director. I think I think he would go perfectly with the way that De Zerbi wants to play, the type of players he wants to bring in. We know that he's got quite a fairly decent track record, better than the other directors of sport we've been linked with.
Try and get Paul Mitchell back.
Or Paul Mitchell, they would be my two top. Obviously, the dream is Luis Campos. He is the dream, right? He is, I think, the ultimate sporting director at the moment.
Where's he from?
Paris Saint-Germain.
Paris Saint-Germain. Okay. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. For me, he's always been my ultimate choice. But that's not likely at this moment in time. That's not likely. So yeah, I think the first thing would be to get the sporting director in, get rid of Lange, right?
Yes.
He's enough of him. And then look, if it looks like, it looks like we are going to get Senesi. And I don't know if you guys saw Senesi's Instagram post yesterday. It was quite funny. After the game, he was like celebrating, basically. He just did a little cheer when he was training or something. But so I think he's already fully poised. Robertson is I think is a great signing. I think it's a really smart signing. I also think Senesi is a smart signing too, because I know some people said Senesi turned 29 recently, a couple of weeks ago.
I thought he was younger than that, to be fair. I thought he was like 26. But
I thought he was younger, but do you know, I actually see the reasons why they've signed him. I think he's got, like Dan said earlier in the show, he's got great stats, right? He's great on the ball. Come on, Phil, you piece of shit.
He's terrible in the air. That is one of his letdowns. And
yeah.
he's quite slow.
He's terrible in the air, right? But if you look at kind of, I think what the plan is for Tottenham is to bring back Vuskovic in a year or two, right? To let him keep developing because he is still young. That will take Senesi to 30, 31 maybe. And then maybe you bring in Vuskovic as the replacement then, if Van der Ven is still here. So look, the things are always going to keep changing, right? But I think them two are a really good start because they haven't cost any money up front or any fees, right? It's smart business to me. They instantly improve the squad, the quality of the players we've got in the squad, because I would take Robertson over the players that we've played in that position this season, right? When Udogi's not been fit. Senesi, I think, is a better centre-back than Dragoshin. Maybe he's a better centre. I don't know about Danso. Maybe he's better. He's definitely better on the ball than Danso, but Danso is, we know what his quality is like, especially in the air. He's an animal in the air. So I don't know about that, but he definitely will give us something different.
Consistency is something we're definitely looking at here.
Yeah, definitely. And look, I think where the most important thing I think we all want to see is I want to see at least 4 attacking players come into this team of quality, or players who are ready to go straight into it. Not, I think all of us are aware that we do not want to see players who are, maybe in a few years they'll come good. It's just we're all done with that. We're all, because if they do that, honestly, if they do that, they can't be that stupid to look at what's happened over the last few years and think that doing the same thing is insanity, right? It's like what Einstein says. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So if they go into the window and go and try and start signing these youngsters with potential, right? What's going to happen? The same thing again as this season. We're going to be in a relegation battle, right? So if they don't want that, they're going to have to sign ready-made players. And I think they will. I think they're going to sign players of quality this summer. So I'd like to see like a left winger, a quality left winger. I'd like to see a quality striker. I'd like to see another center attacking mid, and a number 8 who can or maybe 2 number 8s. I think we need 2 because I think the ones that we've got right now they're just a little bit of something and not a lot of anything really. So I think they're the most key areas we need to look at this window. For me, I know a keeper's one thing. I know for me personally, if they're going to sell Vicario, I do believe they will bring in another keeper to compete with Kinski, which is fine. But I've already said I would like to give Kinski a chance. That's just my personal opinion. I think I know what people want to look for is goal scorers, right? Goal scoring wingers or strikers. I think you're going to need definitely a goal scoring striker, definitely a goal scoring striker. But for a winger, right, if they were to go and get just say a Savinho, right? Personally, I think he is a goal scoring winger. I just think he just played in a system that doesn't suit his abilities, his attributes. Especially in his first season at City, he was pretty much playing as a right midfielder, a right winger, right? And that's not his best position, right? His best position is like a traditional left winger, right? Go to the byline and cross it into the box, and he's very good at crossing the ball, right? If anyone actually watched his actual how he played when he was at Girona, right, or even at PSV, he was like that, right? The fact that I know Xavi Simons has played with him before, that's another thing, because you've got to remember one thing, right, when it comes to players. What I feel De Zerbi wants to do, and what I think I've already seen him starting to do, is he wants to build like a family feel, right? Like how Poch had, right? Where everyone's fighting for each other. Everyone's kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? The way to say it. I don't know. Do you know, I'm trying to say that it's like, they have to have this kind of like telepathy between each other, right?
Yeah,
so they
yeah,
kind of understand each other's game. They know how they play. They know what their weaknesses are, their strengths are. They can sort of they do things without question. They can just they're just more coherent together, right?
In
More
sync.
fluid. In sync.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a better way of saying it. In sync. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, like
more
you
in
need to
sync
do
with
with
each
the
other.
whole team, innit? You need that team in sync with each other.
Yeah.
You need them in sync with the formation. You need it working with that team basically where they are doing what they are best at doing.
Yeah, and I think and I think like a player
Like
like
Carrick did
Savio,
at Man U. Like Carrick did as soon as
yeah,
he
like
went to
Carrick
Man U.
did at Man U, and I think a player like Savinho, right? He's very young, and look, we've seen it how players can go to Man City, like good players, and they just cannot fit in, not because they're bad players, but because they just can't play that type of football that Pep was demanding of them, right? Pep has a very unique playing style, right? And I think Savio actually did quite well in his first season, considering he wasn't playing in his actual position. And then this season, unfortunately, he was injured for a big chunk of the beginning of the season, right? And he just never really got back into the team fully, right? And that's purely because they had other players who were playing in that position better. I mean, even Phil Foden wasn't getting in the team, right? He was hardly getting in the team. So it just goes to show the level of quality that Man City have at their disposal, right? So I think Savio in the right team with the right arm around him, right? Someone like De Zerbi, who, as we can kind of see, he likes to make players believe in themselves. He's very about positive mindset, belief in yourself, belief in what you can do, right? I think that's the exact type of manager that Savio needs. And I think that he could make him a much better player and maybe bring him back to the levels of where he was at Girona.
I can go with that, Dan, and I'm not going to argue on a player like that coming to Spurs because he is hands down better than the crap we've got.
Yeah.
But the thing we are definitely lacking is goals, and he don't score goals regular. Same as Kudus. Kudus, I don't care who the manager's going to be, unless he gets put in the number 10 role and told to push forward as well. He doesn't consistently score goals, and goals are our biggest issue.
Kudus, Dan, I've watched Kudus's growth because back then I was watching Ajax all the time, right? And Kudus, before he came to the Premier League, that season he was their top scorer, right, for Ajax. He scored like I think 26 goals or 23 goals.
So was
right?
Dembele in Holland as well.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is, right, he has got ability to put the ball in the back of the net. You play him the right way, he can put the ball in the net, right? And I just think, again, with someone like him, I think you just need the right type of coaches. We all sit here and talk about how
would he give us double figures?
I think Kudus will get us double figures. Yeah, I definitely think he'll get us double figures. Maybe it's maybe not like 15, 16, 17 goals down, but at least 10, 11, 12. Right?
You at least want 10 or 11 off your wingers.
If he gives me 10 or 12 assists and 10 goals in a season, that's a good season.
I'm happy. I'm a happy man with that.
I'd be happy with that, and I do believe Kudus can get to that level. So I think I'm more than happy with him on the right.
Honestly,
wing, right?
Kudus, I think we need to look at him as more of a 10 personally because we haven't.
Or that, yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
I honestly,
and maybe
we did play him as a 10, didn't we? We did play him as a 10, didn't we? And he was pretty good at it.
Play him quite a lot as a 10.
I personally think 10 is one of our biggest players that because unless we have some creativity on that pitch, we're going to be in the same problem again.
Yeah.
I mean, the way strikers are, they need to be fed, basically. They don't feed themselves. They need to be fed on that ball. And Haaland has been a big proof of it. I'm not saying none of them can't set up their own goals here and there, but Harry Kane is one of a million that can actually make his own goals like he does. We need that creativity there more than anything, and we need some goals up there as well. And the thing is, I'll take Savinho all day long over what we got, but I just do not think he's an out-and-out goal scorer. And there is maybe others we could possibly look at, but I wouldn't turn him down in any means or manner either way. I'm just more on the goal sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, if it was like a dream scenario, Dan, I'd like to bring in like a Rashford or a Mason Greenwood, and then him as well, like because then you're adding a lot of quality. Because
then you're
Mason
laughing.
Greenwood,
Then you're laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah, because Mason Greenwood and Rashford are proven to score goals, right? They're proven to play wingers and strikers, right? They can both play in those roles. So that gives you a bit more versatility as well, right? And I think Tottenham are still looking for players who are a little bit versatile as well, to be honest, right? Because of the amount of injuries that we get, and I'm fucking praying that that's the big thing that I don't want to see next season is like Tottenham as the top of the injury list again for the most injuries in a team in Europe. I just don't want. That's the one thing that I really want to see, because if we can have a season where we don't have so many injuries, I think we'll have a good season. Like even with the squad we got right now, if all of our players were fit, we wouldn't be where we are. We wouldn't finish in these positions. We'd definitely finish in the top 10, in my opinion, right? So you add a couple more quality, you can start pushing up that league again. But look, if it was up to me, right? If it was up to me, I'd go and bring in Rashford and Mason Greenwood. That's who I would bring in, right? As because then you've got versatility, you've got goals in you, you've got players who can play as a striker as well. That's what I would do. But I just don't think that's going to happen. Maybe possibly one of them. Who knows? But
I think this is just. Go on, mate.
Yeah, go on, Dan.
I think this is just where it comes back down to the scouting system again, where we need to be smart. We don't necessarily have to go out there and spend 200, 300, 400 million.
No, we don't.
If we've got it and do it, but we've proved we do spend the money, we just spend it on utter crap. We need a scouting system in there, big time, basically. And to go out and get those players that you know will perform on a pitch. Like, again, Senesi is a great example. I mean, if you look at the stats and compare him, the thing he is worst at is in the air. But then you look at everything else, he's even better at progressing the ball than Romero, just not better at passing it forward. And it's players like that we do need there. Up front, you're just going to have to go abroad and start looking, basically. And there are many, many players in Italy, Germany, France that are screaming to come to the Premier League because it's where the money is. And even if it is to a little club like Spurs, if the money is on the table, we need these players.
I agree with you, but at the same time, I don't know if Spurs have got the capabilities to find those players at the moment.
We have.
I wish I could believe you, Dan, but I don't think they have. That's why I'm thinking that we might have to take. I mean, I do agree with what Danny's saying. That's why I'm saying we might have to take a risk on someone like a Rashford or someone like who's already had experience in the Premier League, and that's spread off a little bit. That or a Vlahovic or something like that. That is on a free. I think that's where we're at the moment, possibly at this point, especially with where we finished the last couple of years, 17th. I think we're going to have to do this thing where we would like with the whole thing with Martin O'Neill and Harry Redknapp used to do at West Ham and Leicester City, respectively. Do you
know what I'd do, Alex, as well? Do you know what I'd do? If it was me, I'd sell Solanke and Richarlison, which I don't think will happen this summer. I think Richarlison's gone, personally. I think he is gone, right?
I hope so.
And I hope so too, but I do believe he's gone, right? I don't think they'll sell both of them, right? Because I think Solanke can offer something to Zerbi if he's fully fit. That's a question that's remained to be seen if he's going to be fit. But do you know who I actually would like as like a second striker, as well as an actual first team striker who we're going to be is our main number 9? I'd actually go for Tatty at West Ham. I really like him.
Yeah.
I really like him. He's good.
I see your point. I haven't seen enough.
Not as a main striker. Not as a main striker. As an additional.
This is where I see your point. I'm not too sure.
I'd rather take my chance with.
Who would you?
I'd rather take my chance with.
I don't really know.
On a realistic manner, strikers are few and far between. They're the hardest to get.
And
I
also,
would
Dan,
take
sorry,
a
just to interrupt
gamble
you,
with Jimenez.
Just one thing. You actually would take Jimenez. Just also one thing
over what we've got.
I see your point.
Alvarez going to Barcelona is just going to be even more mud for Arsenal. That'd be perfect for me. I can't watch Arsenal go and get someone like Alvarez because he's like my favorite striker right now. But anyway, Jimenez. Is Jimenez actually any good, Dan? Because you watched I don't know if you still watch Italian football, but
He hasn't.
I haven't really seen him.
He hasn't been really great since he's been there, but I don't think he's been poor either. But it's another one where I do get there's going to be ones you're going to have to take a couple of risks on. And for me, he ain't going to be no worse than Solanke and Richarlison. I wouldn't sell Solanke and Richarlison before I get another striker in, though. I'd only get rid of one of them. And out of choice, Richie's the one out the window for me. And then if I can get another striker in, then obviously Solanke's gone. But maybe we will just have to hold on to Solanke for squad-wise, basically, because you can only build up so much in a go as such. But there's a few strikers out there that you can look at. But strikers are probably the hardest things to get at the moment.
Yeah. See, that's why I have no idea who we could bring in for strikers.
I
don't.
Told you. He's ready. Bring him in. What? Listen, I don't know what the hold up is with the geezer. He's on a free.
Is he actually on a free transfer?
He's on a free transfer. He's on massive wages. But like we were talking about before you come on, Dan, there's ways around that. If they don't want to break the wage structure,
let him go. Have Juventus let him go?
He's available on a free.
Basically, what it is, from what I've read with what's going on with Juventus, he's not quite on the free yet, but he's coming up to that. He's having major rows with them because they just ain't got the money to cough up his wages, basically, and he still wants 300 grand plus wages. And that is the big issue there. And then you've got a couple of other people having a look at him from abroad as well. But it's whether he's going to stick to his guns and want his wages or he's going to have to cut his losses, basically. That's the big issue that's going on at the moment. If Juventus come up with a deal for him, he's going to stay there. But I just don't think Juventus have got the money to pay him what he needs, basically.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? Because they have to legally pay him because it's the contract that they've set with him, right? Unless there's something in this contract where if the club are losing money, they're not making money, or they're in a situation where the wages have to be cut, for example. I don't know. Like it's like, like if you get relegated, 50% of your wages are lost, right? So unless it's something like that, then they've got no real legal point to stand from. And with Vlahovic, look, I can't really sit here and say that I've watched Vlahovic over the last few years. I'm like Dan. I think I saw him a little bit at Fiorentina. For me, anyway, I did, and he was excellent at Fiorentina. He was excellent, and then he went to Juventus, and he wasn't really shit, but he wasn't as nowhere near the levels of that he could play at. And I think he could just be another case of he needs the right system, the right manager, right team, and also I think the amount of money that he was paid, I think it all went to his head, right? When you get that kind of money, right, you're like in the top sort of 5% of highest paid footballers on the planet, right? So you're already in your head. It changes your ego as well, right? And I think he was at an age where he needed to be a bit grounded, maybe more. I think. And like Dan said, look, if he was to, I think, right, what will happen with him, if he does leave Juventus, right, if he does, either one or two things is going to happen. He's going to go to Saudi Arabia, right, on the same sort of wages, stupid wages, because all he cares about is the money, which is fair enough, if that's what he wants, right? Or if he wants to actually play at the highest level of the game, then he's got to go to a club where he's not going to get nowhere near the wages he was on, because no club in Europe is going to pay him that sort of money, not even in the Premier League. I reckon if you're looking at bringing him, someone like him in, right, not even a Man City, a Man United, or I know they won't bring him in, but those are the clubs that are going to want to pay 200 grand a week. And I don't believe Tottenham would pay someone like him 200 grand a week, not even. I think you'd offer him something like 150 purely because he hasn't proven he can deliver at that level. So
that's
the
struggle, isn't it? I mean, I don't want us taking. There's nothing wrong with taking a chance or two, but how many chances have we bloody took? And it's literally bit us in the arse. That is where we need a scouting system where there's a 75% chance that this is going to bloody work. I mean, it's like I said with Gimenez. He basically, I think he scored a goal or two this season. He has not had a good season, but I do think in a different league he would do better in a different style of football. I actually think his style of play. He's a bit of a poor man's Defoe, and I think he could do all right. But again, that would be a gamble. But then strikers, they are not easy to bloody get. We just need to start looking, like I said earlier, Dan, for more established players now that could get a bit better, instead of going for players that have done good now and living off 80% 80% potential, basically. Simmons, for me, that is a player bought purely on potential. He's a player bought because he's had 2 good seasons. Now you're buying him over 8 years of potential, basically. I think we need someone now who's more established at 25, 26 with a little bit more potential on him, instead of just going for a significant amount of potential, like Tell, like all the others. We just need to get some men in that team, and we need some stability. And I'm reading a lot about how Spurs should be going for 5th or 4th next season and going and doing this and that. Mate, I'm going to be happy with 10th place and some stability.
Flame. And I just don't know where I see. Look, Jimenez. I know we were linked with him in the past, and I know he was pretty good when he was in the Dutch league in Eredivisie. I haven't followed him at AC Milan. I can't remember where he went.
He hasn't been good. He hasn't been good.
But look, again, we all talk about, sit here and talk about coaches, right? And the fact that De Zerbi reminds me of the Pochettino type, right? Just what he did with Brighton. He got Brighton to the highest ever league finish on their budget, right? He finished in Europe. Was it 6th place? I think they finished. And then just look at him, what he did for Spurs, right? Being the only manager to ever come into a club with 7 games to go and then get us out of a relegation. It's never been done before. And the fact that we were the worst team in the league at home, right, in form, and he still managed to keep us up just, right? Of course, West Ham was shitter than us, but still, he did his job, right? But he managed to get enough out of the shit that we have to keep him in the division, which is what I thought that he would do, right? And then, like he said, as soon as the season finished, half the team needs to go. Like, he's already said it. So he knows they're not good enough, right?
Question quick. I'll ask question quick for both here, and for any other fans. Question quick. Who is more the magic man? Who done the more miraculous job? Conte getting us into 4th place with that crap he had there, bar 2 players, or De Zerbi saving us from relegation? Who is actually
De Zerbi?
De Zerbi.
What is that?
No matter what team you are, if you've got Son and Harry Kane at that level, right, you can go up 10 places in the division just because of those players. Them 2 players will get you out of anything. And they did. They literally got us out of every single situation, right? Their goals were the best in Europe. Them 2 were they were in the top 3 of clinical strikers in Europe for 5 seasons nearly. Son and Kane. The only person who was more clinical in 1 or 2 of those seasons, a couple of those seasons, were Haaland on one season and Mbappe on another, right? They were literally the most composed and lethal finishers in Europe. So when you've got 2 of the best goal scorers in your team, of course they'll get you out of shit. You could be the shittest team in the world, and they will get you out of shit because
and at
they only
least
need
that
one
team
chance.
that Conte had, you can say it had some chemistry. It's like I've said with the Spurs team. I think player for player, when you actually look at our first 11, our established first 11, I don't think it's a relegation team sitting there. I don't think it's as bad as it looks player for player. But when you look at there's just no chemistry there whatsoever. There's no link up between any of the players ever. I mean, the link up between Son and Kane is just something special. Yeah. I mean, that was like, they was on the same level basically. But the rest, there's just no link up there whatsoever. But the closest we had to a bit of chemistry was when Bentancur and Paulinho come on. Van de Ven, Romero, 2 total different planets. Planets between wing backs and the whole team, just no chemistry.
Yeah, and it's because we had we haven't got balance in the squad. There's no balance at all. Like with our midfielders, with our with just all our whole team. There's no balance whatsoever. So that's why we need more technical players, because I think De Zerbi wants to build that chemistry, right? But yeah, this question. Was it?
Yeah, sorry, Danny, I brought it up because
there's
been a few questions in the chat that people are asking, and just because we're yapping away, I have stored a couple, but this one just came up.
Yeah. First of all, he's not Barcelona's player. He's Man United's player, right? He's on loan, so that's the first thing. Number two, none of us know why they didn't want to sign him, right? It could be that he wants too much money for wages. It could be that Man United didn't. Man United want a certain fee, and Barcelona not willing to pay for that fee, right? Maybe they were willing to pay for that fee, but he wanted ridiculous wages, which I'm not surprised because Rashford, I believe, is on ridiculous wages. Isn't he on like 350? Yeah, he's nearly on like 400 grand a week.
If I remember right.
No, yeah, he is. He's on something ridiculous. Like he's on ridiculous wages, right? So use a bit of common sense. Why would Barcelona want to pay Rashford 400 grand a week? Because Rashford is not going to leave Man United, right? Unless it's a free transfer and his end of his contract. Because the problem that Man United have had with Rashford is that he doesn't want to go because he is on ridiculous wages.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a shit where he plays, right? That's the truth of it. He doesn't care. He only went to Barcelona because, right, they were able to probably do I'm just guessing. They probably were able to do some sort of agreement with Barcelona where Man United would pay a big chunk of the wages and they would pay the other chunk of the wages.
He's still got his wages, end of.
He's still got his wages. And even if Barcelona were paying him 200 grand a week, Man United still have to foot the other half of it. So use a bit of common sense. Why do you think Barcelona didn't go for Rashford? Well, it's because he's on ridiculous wages and no one in Europe is going to pay those wages.
I do think Gordon was a bit of a weird one, though. I must admit.
Yeah,
that one
Gordon is a weird one.
Yeah,
I don't understand the Gordon one, to be honest with you. I've got no idea why they went for Gordon. Each to their own, right? Who knows? He might end up being amazing out there. We just don't know, right? He might end up being a different player. Look, when players go to different leagues, playing different teams, play with better players, they can also become better, right? That's just how it is. So we have to wait and see. But Rashford, right? The reason why I don't think we'd get Rashford is because I don't think Tottenham would want to do a loan deal with Man United where we're paying 200 grand a week, right? It's not going to happen for Rashford because Man United, I don't believe, would let us be would want to give us the player and then them have to pay half his wages. I can't see it. So I don't know how many years Rashford's got on his contract left, but if he's got still, I don't know. But if it is 1 year left, right, I'd be surprised if anyone would want to do a deal with Rashford, right? So either he goes to the Middle East, right, which I don't think he personally wants as a footballer. But the problem is, Rashford, mate, you can't have everything, unfortunately. You can't have your 340, 50, 60, 70 grand a week and then expect to go and play at one of the best clubs in the world, right? It's not going to happen because you're not that good. You're not nowhere near as good as that, unfortunately. Like, if you're talking about Rafinha, then I'd be talking give me Rafinha, right? The guy is unreal. I've always loved Rafinha, but not Rashford. He's not at that level. Not anymore.
I'd still take him at Spurs.
No, I would still take him at Spurs.
But I don't like him. I genuinely do not like him.
No, neither do I.
To me, he's like a Romero. To me, I don't like him.
Yeah, he's full of himself. He's full of himself. He thinks
but
he's
if
better
he does the job, but if he does the job on the pitch, that's all I care about. But Rashford is one that just ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, I agree. And if you
do you reckon we've got more chance of getting Morgan Gibbs-White again? Because we've gone for him again, haven't we?
Yes.
So it says.
Definitely.
So it says.
I would fucking take Morgan Gibbs-White in a heartbeat. I would take him. He is levels and levels above anything we have in midfield right now. And the fact that he's even had an even better scoring season this season, he's gone up a level. Like, he's actually gone up a level.
I mean, it would be very hard to get him, though, isn't it? I mean, do you know what's most annoying about this whole bloody thing, yeah? This whole bloody thing. Last season, when we had the warning, but we had that Champions League next to us, we could have already rebuilt. We could have already been halfway into a rebuild, basically, because we had that Champions League to attract. Now we've got nothing. We literally have nothing but money and putting a bit of hope on a player, or maybe getting the player game time. This is where it's going to be harder than ever. Do I see us getting Morgan Gibbs-White? Apart from better wages, why is he going to leave Forest for us?
No, that's silly. That's silly, Dan. That's silly. That's
why?
a silly thing. No, that's silly.
Unless it's better wages. What do we have to offer that Forest don't?
Tottenham are a bigger club than Forest.
Mhm.
They are,
But what?
right?
But a lot closer to relegation than Forest.
No, Dan. Let's be honest, right? If we're not going to be where we are this season, if Spurs do what they should do, then we're not going to be there. We're going to be a lot higher up in the league because we've also got players coming back, right? And unfortunately, we have to wait and see what happens. But when you're going out for players like Savio, Morgan Gibbs-White, say Jimenez, you're instantly improving your team. Andy Robertson, Senesi, right?
If we go and do all that, I agree.
Yeah. But this is what I'm saying. So it's all about building a squad, right? It's the project you sell someone. You're not going to say to someone, right, if he doesn't want to come to Spurs, it's because he probably wants to go to a team that plays in Champions League. But the whether or not a team in Champions League wants to buy him is another question, right? So who knows? Maybe Aston Villa might want him. Maybe if they got the money for it, maybe he might go somewhere like there. I don't know. I've got no idea. But Morgan Gibbs-White is an instant improvement of what we got. And if Spurs want to start improving and becoming a better team, you have to improve on the players you have. So Morgan Gibbs-White, if Tottenham were to pay the money that they want, that Nottingham Forest want, whether or not he's got a release clause or not, look, if what's his name? If Marinakis has put whether or not he's put a release clause in his contract now, it's different. If it's like £80 million, I think that's ridiculous. I think he's not worth it, right? So that's my question: is whether or not he's going to be outpriced for a move away because of I don't know what Marinakis values him at, right? So look, if Marinakis says, look, you can have him for 80 million, would you want him? Would you boys want? Would you, everyone, Mia? Would you want him?
Not for that price.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that. But I reckon that Mr. Marinakis has put something in his contract. He can't go to Spurs, innit? That absolute bellend ain't going to let him come to Tottenham after what happened.
That's the thing I was thinking.
I mean?
Would he even let that happen?
He was dealing with Daniel Levy, so it's different because he's not there anymore.
Yeah, no, I don't know. He's just a bit of one of those, innit? I can just imagine, like, he don't care. It's about the club, innit? He's like he's just a weird guy. I'll say that to be polite.
I get it. I think this comment I don't agree with because, yes, anything can happen when money is involved, right? If the money is paid up for what he wants, a deal will be done. Everything has a price. Yeah, exactly. Everything has a price, right? So don't give me that bullshit that, he's not coming because he's there, right? If Marinakis has got a number in his head of what he wants, if any team pays that value, he will go. It's as simple as that, right? Simple. So
yeah, and of course, but the thing is, Dan, like you just said, is he worth what he thinks he values at him at? That's the difference, isn't it?
Yeah, agree. Yeah. How are you, Mia? You right?
Yeah, I'm enjoying life. Had an urge to have croissants this morning. I don't know why. I'll pop over to France, innit? Not far from France. Go have a little pop over there. Have some cheese. Have some croissants.
Should have gone to Aldi's, cheaper.
Yeah, Joe, I don't know. Going over on the ferry, I don't reckon it's that much money because, like I say, it's actually closer for me to get to France than it is to London.
That's nuts.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say when they come over from France. In that aspect, it is going to be tricky who we go for, Dan, and we just got to be sensible with it, mate, and get the right people in. I mean, if we go and have to spend an extra 10 million for a player and give him extra wages and that, then so be it, because we've just got to use what pulling power we do have left.
Yeah.
And there's so many players that have got to go out of that team, and there's so many players that have got to come in. But I'm still on the firm that there's about 6 to 8 players that I think we should get shot of, and I think there's easily 6 to 8 players that we can get into that club.
Joe, the thing is,
window.
That I always keep saying though is we're all well and good paying the wages, but we don't overpay wages for players that aren't worth it, like that just to get them in. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we need to be sensible with who we're paying the wages. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we don't want to be doing that because there's so many players. Honestly, if you listen to Chelsea, you listen to other like Man U, they always complain that there's certain players like a Rashford that they're on such big money, and look what happened.
Yeah.
Right, you know what I mean? A lot of people said about Salah, although he was going a bit like he's been their best player, a lot of their fans said, listen, he got paid all that money and then he went down a hill quite quickly. So that's not what you want to do, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
agree. And for 80 million pounds or 70 million, I don't know. It's like it's hard to say like what you value a player at, right? We all have our own estimates of players, but I wouldn't pay anything more than 65 million pounds for Morgan Gibbs White. Maybe pushing 70, but that's about it. But he is proven in the Premier League.
If we've got the money to spend, I don't care what money we spend. As long as we get
I'm with
player
you
in.
on that, Dan. I'm with you on that. I couldn't
Hey,
give a
It's
shit.
not my money.
Yeah.
It's not my bloody money. So in that aspect, even though the money Spurs do get does feel like taxpayers' money, for God's sake, I honestly don't care if we pay double the wages that we should be, as long as they perform on the pitch.
Look, if Spurs were going to go and spend 80 million on Gibbs White, I just want to see them do that. I want to see them get more and more players in. Like, I don't want to hear the bullshit of, oh, we've only got a certain amount of money, so we can only get 1 or 2 players. No, we've got the money. We can go and get more than that. So if something like 80 million pounds for Morgan Gibbs White comes in, right, and we can go and get 30, 50 million pound player there, 40 million pound player there, whatever, I'm all for it. I couldn't give a shit. But yeah, for me, Morgan Gibbs White, yeah, I'd definitely like to see him in the Spurs shirt. I think he'd add a lot to our team.
I do personally. I mean, I do think he's a good established player and will get better as well. I think he's one we could definitely go for. But I do also think he's one that we go for. I think others would be very interested as well.
Yeah. Who would be like, Dan, do you know, have you heard anything about Juventus and Locatelli? Have you actually heard anything more or seen any reports or anything?
No, I've honestly, I think it's just rumours going about. 2 years ago, they was willing to kick him out, and he was also willing to go for about 35 mil, and they was desperate for money at the time. I haven't heard anything since. And last season, he had a good last season there, and that Locatelli is a player I would snap up in a heartbeat. I've said that for years, but I just don't see that one happening personally.
Yeah.
So who would you guys then want as like the number, like someone who's a progressive ball player? Do you think? Let me ask you a question. Actually, do you think Andy Wharton then could be a shout? Because it looks like Man United are going for Edison, right?
Yeah, that's who I would like.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah. Well, it looks like they're going to get him, and what a fucking signing that is for them.
For about 35, 40 mil as well.
Yeah, that's euros, Dan. That's not even pounds. That's euros.
I know. This is
That's
what I mean by
nuts.
shopping in Italy. The skill is blatantly there, and they are so hard up with the bloody money, same as everyone else in Europe is, bar a club here and there, that you can go there and bully them. I think we need to shop out of the Premier League. I mean, Walton, don't get me wrong, I love him all day long, but that is not going to happen. They are going to want 100 million for him, and he is not worth 100 million at all.
No, he's not.
But if we paid that and we got him, I wouldn't also complain about it. But Walton, he comes up, you're going to have other bigger teams snap him straight up.
Well, you say that though, but who? Because if Man United are going for different players, right? Just say Man United are not going for him; they're going for 2 other players worth 80 million, and they get Edison and someone else in, right? And then Man City get Anderson in. You think? I mean, who needs a central midfielder out of the top clubs? Arsenal not going to pay 100 million for him. They don't need another central midfielder. They need wingers and strikers who can score. That's what they're going to look for. They need a left winger and a striker. That's what Arsenal want, I think.
I could see if Walton come up, I could see Man City going for him.
Well, they're going to get Anderson, aren't they? They're going to get Elliot Anderson.
From Forest? I didn't know.
He's an even better player.
They'd gone for him. Yeah, I
No,
didn't know they'd gone for him.
The rumors are they're going to go for him, right? That even all the Sky Sport, everything was saying that he's going to be their priority this summer. Elliot Anderson.
Even if he comes up on the market, I can see a few clubs at least sniffing around him. I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal checked him out. I wouldn't like to learn up with Declan Rice basically, and that you got your perfect chop there. I could see Chelsea going for him. I could see Man City looking at him, Man United looking at him. Even Liverpool going having a look at him.
Would Arsenal go for him when you've already got Zubimendi and Declan Rice in your midfield?
I agree, but I could see it happening.
But I don't think Zubimendi's been as good for them as they thought he would be. So I can actually see, they could be looking at him, because honestly, I think Zubimendi's come in and I think he's been quite a bit of a disappointment to when you listen to.
I think he's been a very good player for them.
He's been all right. I don't
He's
think
been all
nothing
right. I don't
special.
think he's been very good. I don't think he's at that level. So they might look at another player thinking they want someone a bit more. Like
How
a
old
bit
is
more.
he as well?
I don't even know.
Mendy.
Yeah.
He's another one, mid-20s, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, about 29, I think, isn't he?
Yeah.
Is he?
I don't know.
Super
If I remember right.
I know exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, Walton it would be one that people would want to snap
27.
up. Oh, okay. And plus, the other thing is with Walton, you have to pay that 35% English tax on him as well, where there's better players on the planet that you get for half the bloody price. That is the problem when you go and buy English players. You pay your 35% English man's tax on it, for God's sake, when they're not even worth it. You know, when you can go out and buy players better than them for just the tax that you pay on the English person. Is the way I see it.
Yeah.
I
get
mean,
it, mate. Go on, Dan. What you want to say?
There's a couple at Atlanta I would look at. I can't even pronounce his name. Charlie, the Belgium cam they've got.
Oh, yeah. I know you mean, Dan. I know you mean.
Yeah, I think he's good. If you know what one I'm on about, check him
Which
up.
player? Sorry, Dan.
Killer Tear, Charles the
That's
Killer
the one.
Tear.
Oh yeah,
That's the
him,
one.
yeah.
I think he's good, and I think you could get him for 20 mil. Because even though clubs get themselves in Champions Leagues and everything else like they do in Italy it is so hard up with money at the moment in every which way. They have not got the spending power out there. They really haven't. Bar Como, now they're in the Champions League, you're really going to see them start going to the top. He's another one who I would quite happily go for. I think he's good enough for the Premier League. He's a little bit brittle, but I think he's one who could definitely get in the Premier League and definitely get in our front team. This is why I keep saying we need to look at a 10, because like I said, I would not say no to selling Maddison as long as we already had someone in to replace it, because I want these brittle, broken players out of the club. I don't want them here anymore. I don't want these players that can play 10 games a season. And I know a lot of people don't agree with the Maddison bit because a lot of people love Maddison. If we're going to be honest, just a question I'll ask you. So how long's Maddison been with us? 3 seasons now, yeah?
Yep.
Has he really lived up to standards over 3 seasons? And how many games has he played?
I know what route you're going down here, Dan. I know what route you're going down here. Not enough. Let's put it that way.
He really hasn't lived up to standards, has he? Bar a game or 2. And then started off a season excellent and then sort of like just totally disappeared. And then came back and had a couple of great games and then injured for God knows how long. Don't get me wrong. Most technical, gifted players we got. And I still think he's one of the best playmakers in the Premier League because there's not many out-and-out old-school playmakers anymore. Like, he already knows where he wants to put the ball. Would I keep him as a squad player? Yes, but I'd want to replace him on that pitch, basically, because I don't want to have to rely on somebody who's got Weetabix for ankles to be my number 10. So personally, Maddison is another one that if we could get a replacement for him, he's another one who I'd sell. Same as I like Kulusevski's done and dusted. There's a lot of players in that team that I would actually want out because they are brittle as well. But it comes down to replacing everyone and everything else as well. But that Charlie, I'd take him in quite happily.
Who I like Sarr from Crystal Palace.
Another good call. Sarr from Palace, another good player.
Sarr, I really do like him. And I agree with you about Madders. See me, I was always on the fence about Madders. When we got him, everyone was raving about it. I think
he's a brilliant player. I think he's an excellent player. But
I was arguing with people because of his, I don't know, there's something about him that I wasn't really too sure about. And then I think his record for his injuries, I was a bit like, what is that really going to be a good idea? So I actually was not all for him, if I'm honest, when we got him.
Yeah, fair play. Let's just, I just want to bring this question up from Nige. He said, United finished 16th last season and revamped their front three and finished 3rd. Could Spurs do that, people? Nothing out of the bounds of possibility, Nige. Everything's possible. But
I think it's possible if Spurs were to go into it with intent and to get players who are proven, but I think the problem Spurs will have is that I don't think there's many players right now who could come into this team and take us to that level right this minute, right? Because they went and bought two of the best attacking players in the Premier League, right? In Mbeumo and Cunha, right?
Yeah.
And they already had Bruno Fernandes, who is arguably he's the best player in the Premier League right now at the moment, right? 21 assists. He broke the assist record. He's an unbelievable player, right? And then you add Mbeumo, Cunha, and Sesko, who's also kind of improved so much under Carrick, right? You've got a front four that's arguably up there with some of the best at the moment, right? They're not at that elite level like I think you could compare. I think maybe Man United's front four is better than Arsenal's front four, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's with Man United. I think they lack in the other departments, right? Their defensive ability and their midfield options. So Man United are building. Man United also can always attract the top players no matter where they finish because Man United are Man United, right? They are global powerhouses. They're like the Real Madrid of England.
I think they was on their borderline personally. I think if they'd have screwed it up this year, I think they'd have pretty lost 90% of their Man U pulling power. So I
don't think they would have lost a lot of the pulling power because if you go into Man United, and obviously they had a project of what they wanted to do, but now Carrick's going to be their manager. They've got to stick with him, right? And especially if you're Man United and your Carrick's the manager and you've got the players you've got right now, of course, you can go in there and you can say, well, look, we want to take Man United back to the heights of they were before, right? And for any player, that is like a challenge for them, right? So to be part of someone who could potentially be involved in bringing Man United back to their glory days, and most players around the world would want to do that, unfortunately. So, and Man United can pay the wages as well. So
that is one thing that definitely helps. We go back
but
to
you
that.
know what?
Again,
what I will say about Man U is if you go to Man U, first of all, it's the name because everyone, like people who grew up with Man United being that massive team. And I do think that all along, even when they've not been at their best, they've still won stuff. They still managed to win stuff. Like it might not be the highest trophies, but they've still managed to win stuff.
Yes.
And I do think they still have that thing. I just don't think, even if they messed up this season, I think the Man United brand, the name, the history, it means a lot to a lot of people who grew up with Man United being that huge team. Because players of the age they are, they know that Man U was a massive team. And that still definitely has that pull. Like 100% it still does.
Yeah.
Agree. And I think Tottenham. Sorry, Cookie. I think Tottenham, like if Tottenham were to do something like that, they need to go and get like top level players. I don't know who they look. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I'm saying they need to target players like your Rafael Leao's and these kind of level of players, right? They need to get, I don't know, in midfield, they need another. They need a Locatelli. Put it that way. They need someone like a Locatelli in midfield, and they need another type of ball playing midfielder as well, because one of them is not enough at Spurs.
Yeah.
Apparently, we've gone in for Leao. Apparently, rumours are rumouring that we've actually there's teams going. Premier League teams are looking at him, and we're one of them.
Do you know who I think Leao's going to go to? Because obviously I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I know someone put it in the comments earlier that Leao has publicly come out and said he's going to leave Milan this summer, right?
Yeah.
So I reckon he'll come to the Premier League. I do believe that. I don't think he's going to go anywhere else. And it's just a matter of which team. Now, who right now is looking for a left winger? Right?
Us.
Yeah, we are. But Arsenal also looking for a left winger. Now, if you're going to ask me, I personally see him in an Arsenal shirt. Like I genuinely think he's that Arsenal type of player. I wouldn't want to see him at Arsenal, but I just think that's where he's going to go. If Arsenal go for someone like him, but I don't know. Like if you're looking at Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool, who out of those teams, Aston Villa, who out of those teams do you think Leao would go to? Or let me ask you this question then. Who do you think needs a left winger of Leao's quality right now?
A few of us. I mean, there is another rumour going about that I'm reading a lot of. And again, it's another one that I just really don't see happening. And the one that Spurs are meant to be having a look at that comes up on a lot of the pages I look at is Victor Osimhen.
Yeah.
Wages wise, I just don't see that happening either.
He's on 400k a week.
You know what I mean?
He ain't leaving. He's not going to leave Turkey.
No,
I don't think so.
Turkey. No way.
Listen, we're going to have to continue the conversation another time. I have been called, and we've been on for nearly 3 hours. Listen,
I've got to do my back garden.
Yeah, I've got plenty of digging up the allotment to do as well, Dan, today. Big up to everyone who's been in this morning. Been quite a few people. The chat's been flying. Big up to all of you. We'll be back in the morning for the breakfast brunch, 9:30. Don't forget that. Dan, what have you got coming up, mate? Anything?
I'm sure I'll have something on there soon, mate. I'll just go with the flow, basically. Cheers for having us on.
Yeah, fair play. Anytime, Dan. Get over to the Hotspur Hood. Make sure that you subscribe to him. Danny, what are you doing? Just floating at the moment, mate?
Yeah.
Yeah, Danny's floating. Keep your eye
Danny's
out.
definitely a floater, that's for sure.
I knew that was coming. Keep your eye out for Danny on all the different Spurs channels. And Mia, I know you said you had a video, I think, this morning coming out on Dan's last night. What else you got coming? And did you do the video, Mia?
I've not done the video yet, but I will be doing one. And I think I'll be just asking some people to come on, have chats about Tottenham as well throughout the summer, seeing what everyone's saying, and have some conversations with some different people. So you're not just listening to me chatting away.
We love listening to you, Mia. We love listening to you. Just to let you know.
I appreciate that.
It's the aggression.
Yeah, it's the aggression. Big up to everyone for being in. Tomorrow morning, 9:30, breakfast brunch. See you all there. Big up to Dan, DK, and Mia for being on this morning. And just have a great day. Have your best day, everyone. Take care. See you soon. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
And well done, PSG.
Come on, the PSG.
There you go. See you soon, everyone.
Au revoir.